Said, get your back off the walls, get your back off the walls, get your back off the walls, get your back off the wall, now put your back on the wall, put your back on the wall, put your back on the wall. My music hits me so hard, makes me say, oh my Lord, thank you for blessing me. What a mind to rhyme and to hype, it feels good when you know you're down.
To the hammer, to the hammer.
Down and I'm known as such, and this is a beat you can't touch. I told you, homeboy, you can't touch this. Yeah, that's how we living, and you know you can't touch this. Look in my eyes, man, you can't touch this. Yo, let me bust the funky lyrics. Can't touch this. Fresh new kicks and bands, you got it like that. Now you know you wanna dance, so move out of your seat and get a fire girl and catch this beat while it's rolling. Hold on, pump a little bit and let them know what's going on like that, like that. Hold on a minute, just don't fall on back. Let them know that you're too much, and this is a beat they can't touch. Yo, I told you, you can't touch this. Why you standing there, man? You can't touch this. Yo, sound the bell. School is in, sucker. You can't touch this. Give me a song or rhythm.
I know we have some dancers in the house.
Now,
That's obvious.
Talk about the
Love you guys. We got something coming up. That's all I'm going to say. We're going to have to see your best hammer. Hammer time. Get ready. Coming up.
That's word because you know you can't touch this. You can't touch this. Break it down.
All right, I see you could Tootsie Roll, but I want to know, can you shuffle?
New Cupid.
Come on now, you know we have to do this one.
Time for a change.
Your morning warm-up right here. Stretch, everyone. Loosen those joints. It's going to be an awesome day. Let's go.
We got a brand new dance.
They say I'm a rapper, and I say no. They say what you doing, trying to do somebody go. I just let the music come from my soul, so all of my people can stay on the floor. They got a brand new dance, you gotta move your muscle. A brand new dance, it's called a Cupid Shuffle. It don't matter if you're young or you're old. Here we go, we gon' show you how it goes. To the right, to the right, to the right, to the right, to the left, to the left, to the left, to the left. Now kick, now walk it by yourself. Now walk it by yourself. Let me see you do the Cupid. Let me see you do the Cupid. Do the shuffle, baby.
Okay. For all my dancers out there, we have a dance cam. Take a look at the screens. This is your time to shine. Let's see your greatest moves now. Come on. Yeah. Let's see what you got. Come on. I want to see all the moves. Running man, cabbage patch.
Conversation got heavy. She had me feeling
Come on now.
like she's ready to blow.
Dance camp, do it right now. Come on.
Saying, come get me. So I got up and
Seen all around the world.
she said, baby, let's go. When I told her, I said, honey, got down. Come and get me. I get so caught up that she told me. Tripping my girl, she be the best of all me. Next thing I knew, fall up on me, baby. This is how we do it.
Enagic knows how to do it now. Come on. You guys have such pH balance out there. Looking good.
This is how we do it. It's Friday night, and I feel alright. The party's here on the west side, so I reach for my 40 and I turn it up. Designated driver, take the keys to my truck. Hit the shop cause I'm faded. Honey's in the streets, say money, yo, we made it. It feels so good in my hood tonight. The summertime skirts and the guys in Kanai. All the gangbangers forgot about the drive-by. You gotta get your groove on before you go get paid. So tip up your cup and throw your hands up and let me hear the party say, I'm kinda buzzed and it's all because this is how we do it. South Central does it like nobody does. To all my neighbors, you got much flavor. Let's let the crack in the old school.
You know we gotta play this one now. Come on.
So clean, that she that question been harassing me in the mind. This just fine. I done came to the club about 11 times now. Can I play with your panty line? The club wanna say I need to calm down. Security guards gonna sweat me now. Pick a drunk, then I'm up, threaten me now.
She getting drunk in the club, I mean she work. And then I like to see them females twerk. Taking the clothes off, fucking naked. ATL, hold on, disrespect it. I'll pop yo like this, cause you ain't twins in this. Lil Jon and the East Side boys with me, and we all like to see. Now bring your over here, ho, and let me see you get low. If you want this dub, now take it to the floor. Now if you on that, then you can keep it where you at.
369, damn, hey, just like it to me one more time. Go, get low, get low, get low, get low, get low, get low.
Show him some love, everyone. My hype man over to the right over here. 6'8", Mustafa, everyone. Thank you so much. And thank you guys. Get ready for another awesome day. Here we go.
Shake it like a salt shaker. Shake it like a salt shaker. Pop it till you percolate. First boot on, do it, no time to wait. Make it work with your wet t-shirt. You gotta shake it till your calf muscle hurt. Say the heels on your feet, strap around your ankle. Call that Bojangles. Juice it like fruit or a douche like fruit. Loose and get loose on the goose. Ride off, get your table dance. If you got TND and bring the fruit in. shake it to the song, yeah. If you ain't with it, well, grown then. We ain't no boys, we grown then. You ain't gon' dance, well, don't then. Why you wanna waste a song then? See you around doing nothing.
EVE come through in the minds of pride. Doing it big like I live in the Taj Mahal. Talk and I don't get in the blase blah. That's why they loving her. That's real, been the chick that they talked about. Oh, damn is the words that come out their mouth. She look good always without a doubt. Ask for it, is she back and caking now? Come on.
You guys ready for a little Latin? Come on now. Let's see your best Latin moves. Come on.
Besándome otra vez, suave, bésame, bésame, suave, bésame otra vez, suave, yo quiero sentir tus labios, suave, besándome otra vez, suave, besa, besa, bésame un poquito, suave, besa, 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 bésame otro ratito, pequeña, échate pa' acá. Cuando tú me besas, me siento en el aire. Por eso cuando te veo, comienzo a besarte. Y si te despegas, yo me despierto de ese rico sueño que me dan tus besos suavemente. Bésame, que yo quiero sentir tus labios besándome otra vez suavemente. Ese coro, bésame, es la cosa. Yo quiero sentir tus labios besándome otra vez. Bésame suavecito, sin prisa y con calma. Dame un beso bien profundo que me llegue al alma. Dame un beso más, en mi boca cabe. Dame un beso despacito, dame un beso suave, suavemente. Bésame, que yo quiero sentir tus labios besándome otra vez, suavemente. Ese coro, bésame, es la cosa. Yo quiero sentir tus labios besándome otra vez.
Welcome back to the stage. Hold on, Masaba, everyone, make some noise.
Un beso suave es lo que anhelo. Un beso tuyo.
He'll be teaching salsa later. Intermission.
Yo me pregunto, ¿tienen tus besos? Trato de escaparme y me siento preso. Besa, besa, besa un poquito. Besa, 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 bésame otro ratito. Dámelo.
Thank you. Lola, everyone. Whatever Lola wants, Lola gets, huh? Masaba, everyone. Got some moves there.
Bésame, bésame, suave, bésame otra vez. Yo quiero sentir tus labios besándome suavemente, tiernamente,
fuerza del mal que se mete por tu pena. Lo caliente del sol que se te metió y no te deja quieta, nena. ¿Quién puede parar eso que al bailar descontrola tus caderas?
I'm gonna miss you guys. Thanks for coming to Vegas and joining us. Take your seats. We have 3 minutes. Take your seats. Get ready. Thank you, guys. 3 minutes. Take your seats, everyone. Our program is going to start any second now. Come on. Let's do it right. We have like a minute and a half, everyone. Take your seats. Here we go.
Sube la mano y la botella para arriba. Siempre la móvil la tenemos prendida. Vamos a darle hasta que se haga de día. Sigo rulito que es la mía. Salió el sol. Prime la boca y el alcohol. Impréndelo. Esto se salió de control. Y síguelo.
Get ready. Come on in, everyone. Come on in. Find your seat. Find your seats. Looking good out there. Find your seat, everyone. Find your seat. One minute, everyone. 1 minute.
No me importa lo que de mí se diga. Vive usted su vida, que yo vivo la mía. Que solo es una, disfruta el momento. Que el tiempo
Take your seats. We're like 30 seconds away.
bebiendo, fumando y jodiendo. Sigo vacilando de party todos los días. Y síguelo. Síguelo.
Take your seats. Take your seats.
Hay agua para la seca, todo el mundo en patilla en la discoteca. Hay agua para la seca, todo el mundo en patilla en la discoteca.
It's worldwide to infinity.
Worldwide.
We gon' boogie, oogie, oogie, jiggle, wiggle, and dance. Like
All right, everyone, please.
We go drink
Welcome back
shots until we
to
fall
the
out, make the
stage.
roof on fire.
Our
Now, baby,
USA
get my booty naked, take off all your clothes and light
manager,
the roof on fire.
Paula
Tell 'em, baby, 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 baby,
Come on, make some noise,
I'm on fire.
everyone.
I tell her, baby, 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 I'm a fireball.
Hello, everyone. How's the Magic doing? Welcome back to our Enagic 49th anniversary ceremony. ceremony and 20th anniversary of Enagic USA. We had such an amazing day today, and our grand finale and our best day is there to come today. So as you can see, all of you here that were early, we've had the party got going, right? Did you all get your t-shirts? Raise your hand if you're wearing your t-shirt, or stand if you're wearing your t-shirt. I see a lot of people, so please make sure that you're coming back and joining us early so you can get a chance and get the party going early, okay? So you ready to get it started? Absolutely. And a few reminders as always. We have the Enagic Marketplace open today from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. and you have a chance to get one of our Enagic products that is being sold just at this event, such as this beautiful scarf. So ladies, please, gentlemen, take one home to your wife. So please make sure you visit the Enagic Marketplace, available at the St. Croix Ballroom. And also at the marketplace, if you haven't done so, you are able to get your raffle prizes to get a chance to win one of our awesome products, but maybe 2 lucky winners will get a chance to go totally free to Okinawa for our 50th anniversary next year. Who's going to Okinawa? If at any time you have any questions or need translation devices, please visit our help desk that is open throughout this event from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Those of you who are now using your translation devices, please make sure you log in to Channel 1 for Spanish and Channel 3 for Vietnamese. Also, if you recall, I'm gonna ask one more time for all our VIP guests to please take a stand so we can all congratulate you again. Our VIP guests, can you please stand so we can all congratulate you? There is a VIP lounge available just for you from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. available today for you to use. Quick reminder, we have our grand day today. Those of you who are being recognized for your achievements as a 6A, 6A2, and 6A2-2, please make sure you locate which group you are. 6A will be group number 1, 6A2, group number 2, and 6A2-2 will be group number 3. Are you guys ready to start? First up to the stage, I would like to bring a group of very, very special guests today. They are the ones behind that beautiful product that we all love and take called Ukon. Are you all taking Ukon? To start the day, let me bring up to the stage our Ukon sales director, Nick Nakao.
This shit that ice cold, Michelle fight for that white gold. This one for them hood girls, them good girls, straight masterpieces. Stylin', wildin', living it up in the city. Got Chuck's on with Saint Laurent, gotta kiss.
Good morning, everybody. I saw you guys already hyped up and dancing and music. That's why I came up dancing. Good morning. Before I start my speech, let me introduce a few guys from our Ukon factory in Okinawa. Let me introduce Mr. Ikemiya and Mr. Shimabukuro. Ikemiya on your left is in charge of the Kangen farm, raising Kangen Ukon. And Mr. Shimabukuro is in charge of the factory to produce the Ukon powder and Ukon oil. Mr. Shimabukuro. Okay, thank you. Now, I would like to introduce one more very important person, son of Mr. Hironari Oshiro, who is the president of Kangen Ukon Factory in Okinawa. One and only Mr. Hiroki Oshiro.
This shit that ice cold. Michelle fight for that white gold. This one for them hood girls, them good girls, straight masterpieces. Stylin', wildin', living it up in the city. Got Chuck's on with Saint Laurent. Gotta kiss myself. So
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this meeting. First of all, thank you to all top leaders. Today, we are talking about Ukon. And please listen to Nick and China's explanation because it is wonderful. Thank you for your time. Enjoy.
Thank you very much, Mr. Oshiro, Hiroki Oshiro. Now, before I speak, let me introduce a beautiful lady, Tina Sakaguchi. She will make a presentation for you before I speak. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. How everybody's doing? Good? Hi, my name is Tina Sakaguchi. I am currently working at the Ukon Sales headquarters in Okinawa, Japan. I'm really happy to be here to see everyone. So since I'm every day at the APA building, I see your pictures in the wall. I see your names on the trees. So I'm really happy to see everyone face to face. For us, you're like superstar. So I get nervous when I talk to you. And I stare at you guys when you're passing. I'm so sorry because I'm really happy to see everyone here. Yes, thank you. So first of all, I would like to say thank you for everyone for all the hard work. So thanks to everyone, we have this amazing business. And we are really, really grateful for you, for us, for Energy Star. You're the superstar. So thank you so much. So Mr. Oshiro gave me this opportunity to talk about Kangen Ukon. And I would like to share a little bit about my personal story, why I believe in this amazing product, why I am encouraging everyone to take this. So my mom, she has a disease called arthritis. So because of the inflammation in her body, her cells start attacking her own healthy cells. So she developed inflammation and she has chronic pain on her joints. So watching my mom with so much pain, having a hard time doing daily activity, it's really hard. I wish I could go inside her body and just stop the inflammation so she could live her life in a healthy way. So that's why she started drinking Kangen water, now Kangen Ukon, because it's powerful anti-inflammatory, antioxidant effect. It really helps with inflammation. And now she's doing great. She's doing everything. So I'm really grateful to Mr. Oshiro for starting this business. It really changed my life too. So that's why I'm here to share about my story, or hopefully this product, Kangen Ukon, can help yours and your loving ones. So if you have any question about Kangen Ukon, about the supplement, the tea, the soap, please talk to me, talk to us, contact us, and we will do our best to help you and your group. Thank you.
Okay, me again. Let me leave my water bottle here because I think I'm going to get thirsty. Good morning again. Today, I wanted to speak a little bit about how Mr. Oshiro started the Ukon business. It goes back to how he started energy business also. Some of you may already know, but he started with Sony distributorship. You know that, right? Before I continue on, can I make some connection between you and me? I would like to have your response when I say something good or something positive. Give me, yeah? On the other hand, if I say something, then you give me boo. You got it? So let me start making connection with you. The audience is great today. All right, I skipped the other part. Okay, when he started the business, in Sony business, it was long story, but to make it short, he was very, very successful being a Sony distributor. He was given a territory, the southernmost territory of Japan, to promote the Sony video deck, which was the Betamax. And some of you may remember, but there was an economic war between the Sony and the Betamax and the VHS. And he was very, very successful selling the Sony Betamax. As a matter of fact, he was the #1 successful distributor in Japan. There was about 6 or 7 territories split in, among the Japanese territory, and he was the most successful group. But the time comes, the Betamax was losing against the VHS. You all know that, right? So Mr. Oshiro and his group suffered. He has a lot of stock of VHS product. And whatever they sold in the past, people start complaining, asking them to take back. But they still have a lot of stocks. But Mr. Oshiro keeps selling until the company gave up. Until the Sony itself gave up, he was continue selling it. The payment term with Sony used to be like 60 days. When the business gets sour, it goes to 45 days, 30 days, 10 days, eventually COD. Of course, being a distributor like you, he has to stock product in order to service the customers. But the Sony would not extend the credit any longer. But it's not his fault, right? The Betamax was losing, not because of his organization, but because of the Sony itself. So he has suffered a lot. And he has pretty much folded in the company. There was, as I mentioned to you, there was about 6 or 7 territories within Japan. Just to show you how difficult it was for them to survive through. I believe there was 2 of the owner of the company, of one of those 7 territories, has committed suicide. They could not stay alive. They had no hopes. They gave up they committed suicide. But Mr. Oshiro, as a distributor of Sony, basically he was folding his company. But days after, he went to look for some new business. Eventually, he came across with the company who was making the ionizer machine. Before he started doing this business, he thought of his experience. When he becomes the owner of this factory making this water ionizer, how am I going to market this? I, as a manufacturer, do I give the same difficulty to the distributors or not? You all know Mr. Oshiro's philosophy is give first and take later. True? So, that's the very base of Enagic business, with his personal experience of having extremely difficult time as a distributor. That's where he started Enagic 8-point system. He ended up working with one of a MLM company in Japan. Distributed, he was one of the fastest growing distributor in that organization. Then the company folded because of the company reason. Then back then he found this factory who was making the Kangen machine. And he was thinking, how am I going to do this business? Not causing any difficulties to distributors, but giving distributors a chance to become a business owner like he was before. That's how he came up with 8-point system. Isn't it genius? As he was very successful, he was able to take photos with the top management, the presidents of Sony Corporation back then. He doesn't hate Sony. He appreciates his experience that he had with Sony because Sony gave him the background of his own business. His philosophy was built during his experience with Sony. So today, whatever he purchases, he buys Sony products. Enagic owns 4 hotels in Okinawa, which some of you may have stayed already. All the hotels had their own TV sets. Mr. Oshiro said, get rid of all, put Sony TV on it. That's how he does it. So that's how much he appreciates Sony, that the Sony has given him the experience that he needed to start this Kangen business. After having this experience, he decided to come up with this 8-point system, and he started the Enagic business. But as you know, instead of paying commissions 30 days, 60 days later, like other M&M business, as all of you know, he decided quick pay, right? Everybody enjoys quick pay, right? It's because of his experience with Sony. Sony gave him net 60, net 30, all these difficulties. So he learned and he said, I will not dare give any difficulties to the distributors of keeping stock and payment late. So he decided for all of distributors not to have any stock on your own. Instead, we would have it, Enagic would have it, and then quick payment of commissions. That's the reason. The reason behind it is because what difficulties he had with Sony. He knows what it takes for you guys to make sales. You guys have already gone through the difficulties of having making appointments, giving them coffee, doing presentation, finally to force them to sign, right? It's not easy. It's not easy. So Mr. Oshiro knows all these difficulties. So once you have completed the transaction, he wants to give you quick pay. That's the basic. That's Mr. Oshiro's philosophy. But it comes with some difficulties on his side too. As you know, Mr. Oshiro is a person who concentrates on one thing. He has been concentrating, selling, and that's it. And who takes care of the back end? Collecting money, accounting, making commission payment. That's Mrs. Oshiro. I know when they started the Enagic business in the early stage, Mr. Oshiro keeps selling the demos and trainings and whatnot and making sales. Mrs. Oshiro was working at the restaurant, going to her friends, her relatives to borrow money to pay commissions. Because, as you know, when people swipe the credit card, the company don't get paid until 20 days, 30 days later. But we pay commission fast, right? So the company do not have money to pay. So Mrs. Oshiro went to work, earned some salaries, and used her credit card to swipe cash out, go to the ATM machine to make payment for commissions. That's how they started. So, Ukon business started the same way. One day, it was about the same time that Mr. Oshiro decided to come to United States to open the America office. Mr. Oshiro was talking to some farmers in his neighbors. And they were complaining. They're making Ukon, the turmeric, but the company who buys that Ukon paid so little, and their payment terms was 60 days. They give, let's say they give the product 10th of the month. The company would cut off at the end of the month and pay the end of next month. That was the basic business. So when Mr. Oshiro heard that from the farmers, he wanted to help these people. Remember the DeMcCarty yesterday told all of you that Mr. Oshiro talks about helping farmers, right? Daniel DeMcCarty mentioned that yesterday. Let me elaborate a little bit. When he heard that from the farmers, that they get paid only up to 60 days after they provide the product, Mr. Oshiro said, okay, how can I help these people? And he came up with the idea to come up with the Ukon product. Then he told the farmers, okay, let me buy your product, buy your Ukon. I'll come up with my own business to sell this Ukon product. So basically, he offered approximately 20% higher price to the farmers compared to the previous buyers and offer the immediate payment. So back then, about 20 years ago, 19 years and change, he started working with 8 farmers. 8 farmers has contracted with us and provided their product, started Ukon business. 20 years today, we have 273 farmers all over Okinawa. They are contracting with Enagic because they make more money working with us than compared to any other buyers of Ukon. So majority of Okinawan Ukon manufacturer, Ukon factory, Ukon farmers come to us. Even some other islands close to Okinawa, the mayors come into our company, would you please buy our Ukon from the other islands, So, Mr. Oshiro's, you understand now the philosophy of Mr. Oshiro is to help others before making money. When Enagic business had started, he paid the commission first, right, before he get paid. Also, Ukon business, before he makes money from Ukon, he helped farmers. He wanted to help farmers. That's the reason why he started the kangen business. Is it good or bad? Thank you very much. Well, I wanted you to understand the reason behind this Ukon business. It's same with Enagic business. The basic thing is coming from Mr. Oshiro's philosophy to help people make more happy people around the world. Thank you very much. That is my presentation today. Let me introduce, all the kangen food stuff come here up on the stage again. Thank you very much for all of us. Thank you, and let's work together to have more sales of Ukon. Thank you very much.
Any questions about Ukon? I don't think they're hard to find, right? Just look for the yellow suits and you'll be able to find them, right? Are you ready to get started today? Well, we're ready to get started, but are you ready to even have it better? Our first speaker for today comes all the way from Europe just to be here with us today. He is a rising superstar, a mentor, and a growing legend in his country. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from the UK, Ryan Felix.
How are we doing, everyone? Are we okay? Yeah? Being from the UK, yes, I might sound a bit different. I have what you guys call an accent. I was just outside before, I was getting some water before coming on. I was like, I'm going to get thirsty. And a girl, I can't see, so I don't know where she is, but she said, oh my God, I love your accent. So I was like, thank you, I brought it with me from the UK. We can't do anything about it. We're just born with it, we keep it, And that's that. So, first of all, I'd like to thank you all for spending the next half an hour with me here. I'm going to go through a bit of my story for the first 20 minutes, give you 3 principles that I believe if you use them, you can't help but be successful. And at the end, I'm going to take some questions. So as I'm speaking, please think about some questions that you'd like to ask on the way through. And again, not being from here, I'd like to do something. I don't get the opportunity to do this very often. I'm going to shout in a few seconds, Enagic Vegas, make some noise. And I'd love everyone to just make a bit of noise. Is that okay? Okay. And I'm not going to miss the opportunity to get a bit of content. So are you ready? After 3, okay? 1, 2, 3. Vegas, make some noise! Woo! Thank you. I come from a small town in Wales. There's about 10,000 people from there, so this is quite a surreal moment for me. But anyway, I'm going to jump in. Can I start my presentation? Yeah? All right. So, this is me in Dusseldorf in 2017. This was my first ever Enagic conference. Whose first conference is this? Yeah? Are you enjoying your first conference? Yeah? Awesome. So this was me. I think I was 24 years old, and I knew then I need to get a picture of myself here, because one day I might be up there, right? And I think, I'm going to tell you what rank I was a little bit later. But the presentation, I think they missed the first slide, but it's actually called The Right Way to Grow Your Enagic Business. So this was me in Dusseldorf. And do you know what I remember? There were some amazing speakers on stage. But I literally couldn't think about, when I was reflecting, what the hell they said. I have no idea. On reflection, there was amazing speakers making all this cash, having all this impact around the world, and I had no idea what they said. But that day, I remember how I felt. So it's not actually about me speaking up here, hopefully going to get some value from what I have to share. It's actually about you and what you take from this experience and the feeling and the emotion you take with you to then go and impact out there. Because you're probably not going to remember what some British guy said on stage, okay? So that's the first thing. I don't remember what anyone said, but I remember that day, I was like, if these people can get on stage and speak and have this impact and get to these ranks in this company, when I was like, whoa, how the hell did you do that, right? I was like, surely I can do that too. And that's the feeling I got that day. Has anyone had that feeling since they've been here? Yeah? Yeah, because I know it, because I was there, right? So the next thing, I started in 2016. Would you like me to share with you how I got started? Because I spoke in Dusseldorf a couple of months ago, and I had to fly through this presentation. I literally had 10 minutes. Colton and I were talking about it earlier. It's like, here it's nicer. It's a bit more chill. So I started in 2016, and as I said, I'm from a small town in Wales, 10,000 people, and I moved over to Southeast Asia. I graduated university. I studied outdoor education with the likes of like Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck. It's just like a spoofy degree, really. Not gonna lie, you know, as most degrees are. Does anyone agree with that? Like most degrees, completely and utterly useless, right? I had a good 3 years and loads of debt. Anyway, started 2016. I was living in Vietnam. Who's from Vietnam here, by the way? Hey, xin chào. So, I was starting to teach in Vietnam. I was teaching English, right? They just think I sound like the royal family. So I was over there, and I'm not even qualified to do it, right? So I was teaching English. I was also modeling when I was living in Southeast Asia. I got signed to a company called Elite, and I was living a great life on the outside. It looked great, you know, to everyone from home. I was living in Southeast Asia, getting cool photos of myself, posting them online, but really I wasn't free. And I had a few $100s left in my bank account, and I decided, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to this tiny little Vietnamese island. It's called Phu Quoc. If anyone, yeah, you know it? Yeah. And I was like, I'm going to sit in a hammock. I'm going to live in a hostel. It's going to cost me $5 a night, and I'm going to think about what I can do with my life. That was my intention, because it was Chinese New Year, or Tet holiday, and I knew I had 2 weeks off. So I missed my flight, first things first. Bit gutted. So then I had to get a bus, to get another bus, to get a boat, to get to this island. So I arrived at the bus station. It was about midnight, maybe 12:30. As I said, at the time I was actually 23. So I was still a bit of a party goer, let's say. And I was like, right. I turned up, all the people are there. There was one Western guy. And I was like, hiya, mate. Oh, sorry. We say mate in the UK, and here I think it's like bro, you say. So I was like, hey, bro, can you look after my bags? So I give this guy my bags, and I'm like, I'm going to 7-Eleven. I'm going to go and get myself some beers and a sandwich, right? So I come back 5 minutes later, ready for my holiday. He's gone. My bags are gone. Everyone else is gone. And there's no sign of a bus. So I just stood there with my sandwiches, like. Anyway, next thing, this minibus whips around the corner, and there's this guy. It was a Western guy. He's hanging out the window. He's like, hey, bro, come on in here. Come on in here, quick, 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 quick. So this bus was barely stopping. I was like voluntarily being kidnapped. The side door opened, and I like jumped in, right? And I started chatting to him, and he said, I had to make a decision. He didn't know me, remember? He didn't owe me anything. And he made the decision to take my bags, and he can speak fluent Vietnamese, right, luckily, and he convinced the driver to do another loop to pick up this random kid from the UK to make sure he can go on his holiday. And there's me thinking he robbed me, right? So I was chatting to this guy, and he was like, at the time, he's 40 years old. He'd lived 20 years as an entrepreneur. He'd started all kinds of businesses all over the world. He was fluent Portuguese, fluent French, fluent Vietnamese. And I was like, wow. With all of your experience, it kind of sounds like what my life could be like. But you've never really you've had a lot of money, you've made it, lost it, made it, lost it, but you've never really had that freedom that you've wanted. And that's what he was sharing with me. And I asked him, what do you do now? So I thought to myself, if I find out what he's doing now with 20 years of entrepreneurial experience, I can cut my learning curve by 20%. 20 years. 20 years. That was my thought process. And he's like, well, I've just kind of started this thing. I don't know how it works. I just bought this product. It's called Enagic. It's a Japanese company. And I was like, sounds cool. And at the time, he hadn't made a single sale. So technically, I shouldn't have really been interested. But I was like so invested in his story and the vision that he could paint over the next 5-10 years. And I was like, I don't know if any of you have had this feeling before, but you can get a feeling of, like your stomach goes. And I was like, oh no, if I don't do what he's going to do, I'll regret it. And I can't live with the regret. So that guy is called Nate Wells. He's here somewhere there. Oh, there he is, Nate Wells. I was Nate's first ever sale. Nate's first ever sale, right? So I want you guys to really understand that it doesn't matter if you've not made any sales yet. It matters the story and why you're doing what you're doing and the vision you're casting for yourself and for your future teams. As a leader, you already are, okay? Or we're all completely crackers. I'm not sure, one or the other. So, starting in 2016, I really wanted to share that with you. Has the world changed since then? Yeah, it's changed a lot, right? Are there new and more methods to growing an Agic business today. Yeah, you got like offline, online, hybrid, like all these kinds of methods. Has the way I've run my business changed over time from when I was a 2A to now over here as a 6A2-3? Do you think it's changed? Yeah? The way I run my business has changed. So, as a lot of the speakers, and Daniel mentioned yesterday, there isn't this like right way anyone can teach you, right? And have I changed as a person, do you think, over the last 7 years? Probably a bit. So, this is me in Dusseldorf. Like any British guy, confidently confused. Observe them. There's a few here today. Is anyone from the UK? Yeah. Observe them. There he is, Henry. Watch us. We walk around confidently confused at all times, just hoping no one asks us any questions. So what rank do you think I was here? You could look deep into my eyes. I was a 4A here, kind of gaining a little bit of traction. I came to Dusseldorf, and do you know what? Like many of you probably do have, I had a lot of questions. Who came here with questions? Yeah? Who's asked questions to people? Who then had more questions on top of the questions? Yeah? That's what I was like. But what I'm going to share with you now are 3 principles. Because there's so many questions that can be answered, but everything's changed, guys. So I believe there's business fundamentals and principles that can be taught, embodied, and if you run with them regardless of what rank you are when you started, you'll be successful. So I'm going to share those my 3 principles with you today. So, principle number 1. Who felt motivated here today? Hold on before you say anything. Yesterday, when you walked in through the door, you've met your sidelines, your uplines, the big 6A2-3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 leaders, thousands of people similar to you on very, very similar journeys. Who felt motivated when they came in here yesterday? Yes, right? Well, let me tell you something. Do you know what I think about motivation? It's completely useless. Seriously, it's completely useless, right? I can sit down, watch TV, put Netflix on, right? Watch The Deadliest Catch or some like nonsense thing, and I can feel motivated. So that feeling means nothing unless you do something with it. Can anyone guess what that is? Action it. And I actually believe it's counterproductive, and it makes you feel worse. If you feel motivated and you do nothing, you've let yourself down. If you get that feeling of motivation, just do something that's driving your business forward, right? And then you'll feel good, and that creates momentum, right? And if you do that consistently over time, guys, as Daniel said again yesterday, it is not rocket science. We just have to get over and past ourselves, right? Everything else is in place. So here's a great diagram I found on Instagram a few months ago that I've wanted to use for ages, and now I get to. And it pretty much explains what I wanted to explain to you. So if you're doing stuff based on motivation, I don't believe you can get very far. But if you're doing it consistently over time, regardless of how you feel, that's going to build an internal momentum that's going to get you the result you want. All things are difficult before they are easy. You can see what I was looking for on Instagram now. So I'm going to tell you a quick story, and it was before I started in Enagic. I was actually working and living in a place called Cyprus. Has anyone heard of that? Yeah? For everyone else, it's in Europe, okay? That way. So I was living on this island, and I was selling tickets at the time. So I would sell a ticket for 30 euros. I would make 10, my British boss would make 10, and the Cypriot mafia would make the other 10. It was like living in San Andreas, Grand Theft Auto, when I arrived. Honestly, it was nuts. Anyway, that's where I learned how to sell. And what I did, I had this ticket book, so I'd go to the beach, go into hotels. You had to be careful not to get tasered, depending on who was running the hotels and stuff. But I learned a lot. Especially when you get electrocuted, you learn really quick. So basically, I was on the beach. I had this ticket book. And I was like, right, I need to go and sell some tickets. Otherwise, I'm going to have to go home because I've got no money. So there I was in my ticket book, and I saw 2 girls lying on the beach, okay? And I like, who here feels like they have to create a bit of confidence in themselves before they go and approach someone? Yeah? So I felt the same. It's like, right. I walked up to them, I had my ticket book, and I was like, trying to be smooth, I was like, hey girls. And you know what? They ignored me. So I went back around and I was like, no, they didn't hear me. They didn't hear me. No, it's all right. I'm going to try again. I've got my pitch. I know what I'm going to say. Come on. So I went over again and I was like, hey girls. And one of them looked up. She just went, what do you want? So that was the start of my sales career. So I learned a really valuable lesson there. That was, do not approach British girls when you're on holiday and when they're on holiday, because they do not want to speak to British guys. The second thing is, a more serious note, I didn't actually know what I was going to say. I was just kind of winging it and hoping for the best. And when we start our businesses, oftentimes we don't really know what we're going to say. We're like, we know we've got these amazing products, systems, community, and all this stuff, but like, what order do we put it in? Has anyone felt like that before? It's like, everything's amazing, but how do I get it out and say it? Well, it comes with repetition, it comes with practice, and it comes with basically getting rejected a few times and being okay with that. Because there's like 8 billion people on earth, apparently, right? Do you need to speak to every single one of them, or do you just need to learn by speaking to a few, dial in your method of introducing information, and then move on, okay? So all things are difficult before they are easy. You'll meet some of the leaders here, and they know exactly what they're going to say. They know exactly what questions to ask, right? And it's very, very easy for them. But understand that you have to go through that bit at the start where you feel a bit like, ugh. You don't know quite what you're going to say. You have to power through that, and eventually it's really, really easy for you, okay? But that's the prerequisite for everything you want. Who feels like they've had a bad day before? Yeah? We all do, guys. Doesn't matter where you are in your journey, we have bad days. But I want you to zoom out. We do this thing called the spotlight effect. When something doesn't go right, we think, everything's awful, and then we just link it to all these other things that we think are bad, right? But just observe the feeling within yourself. It's not real, it's just a feeling. And zoom out and be like, this is just one day of my entire Enagic career. Like, am I going to get hung up on this stuff? And something I used to ask myself was, what would the 682-3 version of Ryan do in this situation? So I would like you to think about that as well when these things just come up in day-to-day life. So that's the first principle. If you take consistent action over time, I think you're going to do all right. So on to the second principle now. We're going to start with time. This is me. I did some of these campaigns. They look great, but the reality is, right, I was still exchanging my time for money. Here I was a teacher, remember? And what I would do as a teacher was I would spend my time for my income again, but I would educate myself during that time. So I could actually start educating myself as an entrepreneur, learning. I think that was like 80-20 sales and marketing, the book there. And I want to ask you a question. How many hours do you have in a day? 24? By the time we've done our commute, by the time we've gone to work for the people who are still working right now, by the time you come back, work out, eat your food, how many hours have you got left? You need to sleep as well, right? So you've probably got a couple of hours to do whatever you need to do in your business. So that's the position I was in. I was teaching, I was modeling, and then also I started my online Enagic business. Here's me and Nate. Looks like we're in the jail cell. Doing our first ever live stream in basically like a tiny little box apartment in Saigon, Vietnam. So for everyone that thinks you need all this flashy stuff to get started, you really don't. You just need to speak authentically and from the heart. And guys, honestly, we live in a time where people are craving authenticity. So regardless of where you're at in your journey, if you are being an authentic person and speaking from the heart in this day and age, that is going to draw people to you. You're going to be like a magnet for people, because that's really what people want. So, thanks. Right then. So we've got 24 hours in a day. What started to happen to me was I was getting asked to go to networking events, parties. I was getting asked over here when I was teaching to go and hang out with the teachers, go and drink with them after work hours. And my time was just being stretched, so I had no time to invest in my business. And I wasn't getting paid in my business up front, but I was getting paid for these other things, so it was like my dreams were like, the cost of my dreams was my wage, really. And it's not just how long it takes for you to work if you're working an 8-hour job. It's what you're doing outside of that as well with people. Like, where are you also hanging out? So I stopped going to these parties, stopped going to these networking events, stopped hanging out with the teachers, and I started carving back my time. And people weren't happy about it. People weren't happy about it at all. It triggered people, because I was like, right, just give me 5 years. I'm doing this Enagic thing, just give me 5 years, right? And if you don't honor your commitment and your time, somebody else will always want to take your time. Be it family, be it friends, be it frickin' anyone. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to swear, so I'm really toning it down here today. People will always take your time if you don't take your own time, if you don't honor your own time. And as well, for a few years, I would prioritize and honor your commitment. You can go and do other things afterwards, right? Everyone likes to celebrate everything these days. The Super Bowl's on, the FA Cup's on, the Champions League's on. What do you guys do else over here? Like bounce balls around and shoot them in the hoop and whack the baseball thing. Like, all of these things are going on all the time, every year, and everyone tries to get you to watch it and suck your attention, right? Everyone's got like a gender reveal. Everyone's got what else do they do? What else do they do before having the baby now? Gender reveal, baby shower. Then they actually have the baby. Then you have to go round and see it and blah, blah, blah. Everyone gets married. Statistically, everyone gets married again. So like, pick which one you want to go to, you know? And if it's during the time when you're really building your business, you know, you got to make a decision. So I'm kind of joking-ish. But I was very, very, very careful once I realized the importance of where I'm spending my time, who I was spending my time with, and why. And then I just started surrounding myself with people who had what I want, like Nate, like Jang, Julian, Balaj, people like that in this audience, be it online or offline. I just immersed myself. So that's the second principle. The third one, this is going to be a funny story, is a Thailand trip in the end of 2016, I believe, or 17, I can't remember now. But Jang, Julian, you guys here? I think Julian's here. Yeah, somewhere. So I had lived in Southeast Asia for about a year at this point. And I was doing okay in my business, and I hadn't seen my family in a year. So I flew back to the UK for Christmas. I told my friends and family, hey, I'm going to be back for 1 month. So we had all things planned and things to do, going out for dinners and blah, blah, blah. So I got back. It was Christmas Day. The next day, I was actually speaking to Julian for the first time, who's like my big upline. I was like, oh my God, this guy, I didn't even know he knew how I was. Probably saw me putting in some sales, reached out. And he's like, hey bro, we're in Thailand, you wanna come? And I was like, I can't miss that opportunity. But I've told my family I'm gonna be here for a month. So the next day, my mum walks into the kitchen And I'm on Skyscanner on my phone, like, she's like, what are you doing, Ryan? And I was like, I'm going to Thailand. She's like, oh, like at the end of January? I was like, no, tomorrow. And she's like, why? So I had to explain to my mum, yeah, there's this guy from the internet who I've never met before who sent me a message, told me he's in Thailand, and I'm going tomorrow. People just don't get it, do they? You know? So I went, got to meet Zhang and Julian. Here's me, Zhang, Julian, and Nate on a boat. And these guys were staying in this villa. It was incredible. They were eating out in amazing restaurants while I was being eaten by mosquitoes, living in a hostel, paying $5 a night, sharing my room with another 13 people, right? But I was willing to do whatever it took to get around the people who had what I wanted. And that's what you guys have here today, right? So we had a fun trip, we had a great time, and I went all the way there, and I tell this to my teams time and time and time again. And there's, again, I don't remember anything that anyone said over the few days, except for one sentence. And that sentence was said by Julian here, and I was like, Julian, what's like the one thing? What's the one thing? And he's like, just run ads and stick around. And I took that, and I was like, well, if that's what he said, and he has all this success, I'm just going to run ads, aka if you're doing it offline, like speak to people and stick around, right? Is that rocket science, guys? No, right? So applying what you've taught is the best way of saying thank you. Everyone always says, thank you for this, thank you for that, thank you for the other. But I believe the best thing you can actually do, right, is action what you've been taught by a leader or your upline. You then build a relationship, you build trust, and that is the best way of saying thank you. So drown out the noise with action. Like, there's so much noise today, be it online, offline. Everyone's grabbing our attention from the second we wake up to the second we fall asleep. So you get to decide where you actually put your attention. And if you can drown out most of it, right, and just focus on the fundamentals, you can't go wrong. And leaders, this is like a side note, discover your implementers, right? And it's not to say that everyone, like I have a team now, I think of about 11,000 people over in Europe. Like I can't give my time to everyone because I don't know how to make more time in the day, guys. There's still only 24 hours. But if you can identify leaders within your organization and people who are, doesn't matter what rank they are, but their energy is reciprocal to yours, and they've got what it takes, invest in those people, because they're going to be your Nates, your Rise, your 6A2-3s in your organization. Okay, so that's the last one. Seize an action opportunity. That's the last principle I'm going to share with you today. And you have so much opportunity here. We're in Vegas. You've got so many amazing leaders here. If you feel that feeling in your stomach, like you want to go and speak to someone, you want to ask them a really good question, go and do it, right? Because otherwise, I know you guys don't want to regret it. And I know if I don't do something, if I'm going to regret it, I have to go and do it. So seize an action opportunity and build relationships with people that you're growing this business with, because that's what it's all about, okay? So, consistent action over time, prioritize and honor your commitment, and seize an action opportunity. And there is no right way for me to teach you how to grow your business. However, I believe if you follow these 3 fairly simple principles, you will succeed. Thank you very much, guys. My name is Ryan Felix. I'm from the UK, and thank you for your time.
Let's give it up one more time, ladies and gentlemen, for Ryan Felix. Doesn't Enagic make us look good? When he was back there, I'm like, are we having a superstar back here on stage, right? Kangen Water does that to us, right? You guys are the best looking crowd out there, so make sure you're all having business cards and all that, so hanging out to the Vegas crew. Up next, we have a representative of a very, very dear family to Enagic. Representing the Dafish family, please welcome to the stage 684-4 Wadia and Zesha Dafish.
This is how legends are made. This is how legends are made. This is how legends are made. I'm cranking up.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So, first off, let's give thanks and praise to the Most High, the Creator. As I say, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May the peace, blessings, and mercy be upon each and every single one of you today. Today is an amazing day. And as you see here, this is how legends are made. I'm starting my son off young. He's going to walk in my footsteps. He doesn't know it yet, but he's already doing it. And he's right now, he is the youngest, even though I have one on the way. I wish my two, hey, Kungan babies. And I do have two others, Elias Dafish and Noah Dafish. I wish they were with me today as well. But soon they will be. I'll have my whole legacy. And this is what it's about. It's about family. This is why we do what we do. So, okay, there we go. So, what you're seeing here, let's go ahead and I'm going to walk you off the stage, baby. Let's go ahead and do this together. Okay, thank you, Jelena. Wave to everybody. Wave to everybody. All right. All right, beautiful. Thank you. So the first thing how you want to start off is you want to, thank you. Hey, look, the apple isn't too far from the tree. This is my dad, Eli Dafish. And we've been doing this for 18 years. But before I start, again, I want to show some recognition, right? And I want to show some appreciation to Mr. Ashiro, because he's the one that has made all this possible. He was inspired by the Creator himself. And for those of you who don't know, your trust needs to be in. And the word trust, if you actually understand, the trust itself is one of God's names. It's Al-Haq. And so when we put our trust in others, or we put our trust in the Most High, right, then he will guide us. And my wife always reminds me every single day, because my wife she's the light to my business. She's the light to my life, right? None of this wouldn't be possible if she wasn't representing with me, here today as the past 8 years. 8 years. So I'm very blessed. And you have to understand something of where I came from and where the Dafish family came from. We've been doing this for 18 years. Yes, we have one of the largest organizations in the world, close to 300,000 people, over 20 positions from -6 to a -5, multiple -4s and -3s and 6A2s and -2s. It's amazing. It's a dynasty that we've created for ourselves and we've created for our family, because that's what it's about. And so as my family came here and we're looking for another way, and as each and every single one of you that are actually wanting to have the lifestyle of Life by Design or a paid vacation lifestyle, the only way to achieve that is you have to invest in yourself and you have to invest in others. You have to build that relationship when you're connecting with people so they can understand what it is that you want to share with them. It all starts with the relationship with the Most High, the relationship with yourself. You got to love yourself. You got to appreciate yourself, right? You got to push yourself forward. You got to motivate yourself, inspire yourself. And the way I do it is by constantly empowering and educating myself with spiritual knowledge. Spiritual knowledge is the foundation. It is the guidance that will help us achieve success in this world and success in the next, because this is what this life is about. See, all the amazing things that we can obtain in this world, we can't take it with us, correct? It's all left behind. And hopefully you've raised your children right so they can appreciate what they've left behind. So, and also the thing is this, we're all links. People don't understand. We're links from our ancestors and we're to our future. So we have a responsibility, we have an accountability to play this role with the pure intention. And pure intention starts within the heart. So there's a science, there's a formula behind that called purification of the heart. And these are things, everything that I'm teaching you right now, these are things that I have learned in the worst state of my life. When I was, people don't know this. People have heard rumors, but trials and tribulations are nothing but character building days. And some of my hardest trials and tribulations of my life were in the earlier times of my life. I'm 44 years young, right? Every day, I'm still snowboarding, I'm still living the life. But in my earliest stages of my life, when most were going to high school, I was actually on my way to being incarcerated for 10 years. So never got to graduate high school, did get my GED, but during the hardest times of my life, incarceration, were literally fighting for my life every single day. Didn't know if I was going to spend the rest of my life incarcerated because I was literally seeing death every single day, from people wanting to harm me to the environment, to the society. But what I did is I took that negativity, and I didn't understand this until one day a lifer walked up to me, and a lifer said to me, he said, man, you're not, the expression that's on your face, what you're radiating, I'm going to tell you right now, you're not going to make it. You're probably going to spend the rest of your life in here. And I didn't even know that. I was just kind of like standing by myself, and I was silent, but he could see the expression, right? He could see what was going on internally. And he says, what's going on? I said, oh, I'm having issues with my ex-wife on the outs. And he said, look, you got to let all that go. You can't control externally what's happening around you. You can only control internally and how you respond to the environment of what's going on around you. And that's one thing I learned, and what it is, it's patience. Patience is that key. So yes, we can't change what's happening around us, but we can change eternally on how we respond to these situations in our life. And we can take a negative and we can turn it into a positive. And what I did for those 10 years is I developed and I worked on myself. And what's so funny is, what profession are we in? The profession of self-development. So I've been doing this for a very, very, very long time, and I've been holding on to the foundation and the principles of spiritual knowledge to continue to guide me, to give me the discipline and I didn't even know what was embarked for me. See, God, the Creator, was already planning this road for me when I was a young man, not understanding where I was going, what I was doing. But when my trust was in His hands, metaphorically, then I was okay. And when I came home, and I was actually, at the time, I was suffering from a really bad illness. That's very common when we're incarcerated. It's called valley fever. It's a fungus that's attached to your lung and your spine. So immediately when I came home, my father, what did he do? 9.5. He had just gotten to Enagic probably 6 months before I did. And he's like, you got to drink this. You got to try this. And right away, what is water? Water is the best charity you can give. Water is a medicine spoken of in spiritual knowledge. And he's given me the best water that we have, actually the second best water on the planet. It's a representation of the God springs in Mecca and Zamzam, or Lourdes, France, and northern Germany, and Delhi, India, where this active hydrogen water naturally comes up from the ground. And I didn't really even know that this is what we had in our house. Immediately, he's starting to share this with me, and I'm starting to feel and see the difference physically and internally. And as I started to drink this and share this, he starts to share with me this amazing opportunity in the world of entrepreneurship. So when I connect with people in the outside world and how I recruit, first I have to educate them on what it is that I'm going to embark and share with them. And I literally tell you, you're going to go through a transformation, physically, financially, emotionally, and spiritually. You just need to trust me. And I'm very transparent, I'm very open. And I let them know exactly by first giving them a glass of water, just like my father gave me that glass of water. And as they start to physically, internally embody how the water reacts to them and how it brings back to life, they go, man, I feel amazing. Then from there I say, listen, how would you like to live your life as a paid vacation on where all you need to do is serve humanity? Because the best way to serve the Creator is what? Serving humanity. And then you're going to get rewarded for it. And you get thank you checks. And then I show them the results. I show them the potential of what can be possible. Like how every one of you today and yesterday have seen from the leaders that have been on stage, where leading by example. We've been doing this for 18 years on stage, showing that it's possible, that it can be achieved. All you have to do is believe. And this right here is the pinnacle of your success. The only way that you're going to get to the top and continue to get to the top is you got to constantly cultivate and work on your belief. And what is belief? Belief is faith. And what is the definition of faith? Safety and security. What does the world suffer from? Half the time they're depressed, anxiety, stressed, overworked, tired, burnt out. They have no hope. They're feeling like, what can I do? What can I do next? It's that internal faith and belief that something is better. So we pray upon it. And so what we do is we need to be the servants to provide the solution, to help others achieve the ability to have great belief and faith within themselves and in this opportunity in Enagic. That's why we bring them in the ecosystem of Enagic. And it's still just the beginning. 2 million machines sold? We have a few, maybe 500,000 distributors around the world probably. This is just the beginning. 8 billion people on the planet. Every single one of you are the ones who are going to liberate every single human on the planet. From now to the beginning, every single one of you will be on stage, hitting the ranks, -2, -3, -4, -5. And you may hear the rank is not important. The rank is the goal. If you look at what I've placed around the belief system, it's the goal. But first what we have to do is we have to apply the vision, and we have to apply the certainty, not just within ourselves, within our family, within every person that we connect with. We have to help them shorten the learning curve. Because for those people that are here today, you're experiencing it. You're getting firsthand experience on what this opportunity, what Enagic can do for you, what it's doing for others, what it's doing for thousands of people around the world. Well, how can you share that? What you need to do is you need to, first of all, every one of you right now should be having your phones out recording. That's number one. Recording content for yourself, for sharing it on social media, a platform that wasn't around when we started. You heard Romy Videri, he said what he would do different. Romy, we didn't have that 20 years ago. all we had was that belly to belly and that human connection and shaking hands and making friends. Thank God technology is catching up to help us share our vision, share our mission faster. That's why people are hitting ranks faster. It's because they're utilizing the tools that are necessary to be able to build quicker and faster and scale their business. The second biggest way is events. This is an event business. It's mandatory. So yes, give yourself a round of applause for showing up. That's number one. That's number one. Every single time. Sometimes you'll say, hey, I don't need the event, but the event needs you. The event needs you. The Dafish family, we were a walking, talking events. I had a demo equipment in the back of my car. I had an SD501K8 in the back of my car. I was doing events. How do you think the leaders on stage, when they're telling the story, where do you think they're learning this from? It was the leaders that were leading by example. We were paving the way, doing demos every single day, connecting with humans every single day, whether it's online or offline. You need to be connecting and interacting and showing people that this is the solution to their answers. This is it. And there's no other way. This is in line with how God wants us to serve humanity. It really, really is. We're representing a life force. So when I hear Jillian on stage talking about water is life and that intention starts from the heart, she's absolutely true. It's absolutely true. There is a spiritual science behind what it is that we are doing. It's not something that we're just coming up with and speaking about. This has actually all been proven in the spiritual knowledge for thousands of years. We just need to educate ourselves, empower ourselves, so we can apply this and we can share this with others so they can understand what they need to do. And it's simple. It's not rocket science. You just need to put in the action. You have to have persistence. You have to have consistency. You have to have conviction, certainty, passion behind what you do. It's that energy. Because at the end of the day, what's your biggest commodity? Time, love, and energy. Where are you going to spend that time? Wasting it away? This is how I talk to people. I connect with them, letting them know, what else are you doing right now at this moment? Working that job? There's nothing wrong with a job, but sometimes it's just over broke. It's not doing enough. But I let them know, don't make this your full-time. Allow yourself to do this alongside what you're doing. Because the more value you have to give to others, the more value you're going to receive in return. This is what we do 24 hours a day as we're building communities and we're building culture all around the world, from all of Europe to France to our teams expand globally. And did you think that I was able to achieve that? Did you think my father thought to himself as a Palestinian immigrant to the U.S. that we were going to able to make it possible? This is showing gratitude to our ancestors, to the family members who struggled and were able to come and make a better way in the U.S. Or to make a better way in India or Europe or the Middle East or wherever it is that you reside. Enagic is global. It is global. All you have to do is share that glass of water. All you have to do is connect with them and their family members. When I bring on somebody, do you know the first thing I do? I say, we're going to celebrate. We're going to have a health, wellness, water celebration in your home. You're going to invite your friends and your family members, and you're going to say, I have something so amazing to share with you that happens to do the representation of the epitome of health and wealth. We all love health and wealth, correct? So invite your loved ones to the house, and you're going to bring me on, and you're just going to be the host. And this is for people that live locally, or all fly. Right? And I do their first event. You have to understand why events are so important, right? They are my apprentice. I'm showing them firsthand exactly what they need to do on how to do a presentation and how to educate and show the value and the power of the water and the opportunity. And then we do it consistently, because persistent efforts over a period of time do what? They produce results. Then that 1A becomes the 2A, the 3A, the 4A, and it works. If they're too far for me to travel, technology, Zoom. But I'm constantly, every single day, either helping somebody with an event or I'm closing sales. I just want my teams to do what? For those of you that are 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A, whatever, 5A, your job really is just to pique an interest. Make a friend. Put them in front of the documentation, the videos, the exposures, because documentation beats conversation. Once they're pre-qualified, then you get them in front of someone who's your mentor. And I love how Mike and Darren shared that. The word upline, downline, absolutely correct. We don't use that. It's mentor. Right? And you get them in front of that credibility, because why? We have the vision. We have the experience. And we have the expertise and the professionalism to show people this is the solution all day long. And I don't mind building up my leaders, putting hundreds of sales in my team's organizations. If I'm a master recruiter, that's great, but I can't manage it all. So what do? Leaders building leaders. I build my teams up to help them, show them how they can be the best representation of Enagic and of themselves, because you are Enagic. For those of you that are a part of a team, that's great, but at the end of the day, you are a representation of Mr. Oshiro. You are Enagic. That's one thing that you need to truly embody and understand. And then when someone says to you, what do you do? Of course I say, yeah, I'm semi-retired, right? Because I just want to let them know this it. I'm going to change your life. You're not going to pitch me. I'm going to change your life. God brought you in front of me, and I'm going to show you the way. And then I'll say, they'll say, what do you do? I say, have you ever heard of alkaline water? They say, oh, actually, yeah, I have. I love this stuff. I say, you're welcome. They say, what do you mean? I say, it was me and my family and our company the ones that paved the way and brought this movement and this technology to the U.S. If they haven't heard it, I'm going to say, you need to try it. It's going to brighten your life. It's going to walk you through an experience where you're going to go from a caterpillar to a cocoon to a butterfly. You're like Red Bull. You're going to grow wings, right? These are the things that I share and that I express with people because I want to empower them. This is the idea, because you have to understand something. Everything I do, we have a saying where I come from. It's called Fi Sabilillah. It's for the cause of God. Everything I do, from connecting with someone to my work, to my health, to my family, to my children, because it's all about preparation to preparing ourselves to meet our Creator, correct? This is why, alhamdulillah, all praise be to God. This is why we do what we do, right? So, and this is the best charity, the best gift, and you will get rewarded if you are coachable. What I find in our organizations, a lot of times when people don't succeed, they try to reinvent the wheel. What are you trying to reinvent? The real has already been established. All you need to do is be coachable and duplicate the formula. And like you've heard, there's many ways to do this business. But for me, I like to master them all. Master all the ways on how to share water, how to do a presentation, how to invite, how to do three ways. If you're not three-waying, you're not making money. If you're not mastering the follow-up, you're losing, because the fortune's in the follow-up. These are basics that you need to master. There's principles, and we have the educational platforms. Every single leader that you've seen on stage, every single one of them has their own special, unique formula, but it's all similar. It's all showing you how to master the basics, bring them in fold of the community so people can see results from others that are achieving the success, so they can begin to what? To believe that it's possible, to believe that it works. It's simple, but you just need to care, and the more you care, and the more you love, and the more that you show appreciation, and the more that you show gratitude, and the more that you're accessible, and the more that you are available to every single human being that you meet, from your team members, from the 1As all the way up. Right now, I got people texting me that are asking their teams, and they're deep in my organization, but I wasn't able to show up. Please make sure they're doing Facebook Live. By the way, on Friday, can I use you for a three-way call? I run with the runners. That's what you need to do. I don't care where they are, I don't care where they're located, as long as they have the belief system and they have that passion to run. What does Mr. Oshiro say in his book, for those of you who read it? He says, what you need to do is take off running. If you make a mistake, you can always go back and fix it. But if you're not taking action, opportunity is going to continue to pass you by. That is what I see. People aren't taking enough action. If you don't think you're working hard enough, guess what? You're not. Plain and simple. For those of you that see some of the leaders on stage, the only difference is we're probably out working everybody else. Right? So I tell people this, use the same principles. Have you worked a job 60 hours a week, every single day, 8 hours a day or more, all week, all weekend, overtime? You've done that before, correct? Well, yeah, you hated it, correct? Just apply the same thing to this. Show the same dedication to this. But this time you're gonna love it because you don't have a boss, you're your boss. You don't have to report to a certain location, you just have to get out of bed and say, this is my office. Wake up when you want to, go to sleep when you want to, travel when you want to. If you got a phone, you got a laptop, you can work your business anywhere around the world. This is what's so attractive of what we do in this industry, in this profession. And this industry is the best industry and profession in the world, but eNagic is the best company in this profession. I love you. You want to get up on stage and welcome Baba? There you go. Just stand by me. Right? This is how you do it. It's my apprentice right here. All right, let me get a glass of water. You hold my hand. See, you have to understand something. I trust God. I trust myself. I trust my family. And that means I can eventually trust the whole world, because every single one of you in all the whole world are my extended family members. And what I want to do, and the reason why I say that is because I'm going to be his main teacher. I'm going to empower him with the education, because I know what it's like to grow up with parents who worked all day, every single day, and were not home. Where the environment was the one that raised me. I was a product of my environment. And what did society, what did the schools do for me? For some of you, it was a success, but for me, it wasn't. And that's what led me down that road. So for me, I'm very overprotective of my, he's going to be glued to my leg till marriage, right? Seriously. Because, and for me to think about, I'm going to send them off to school, I get anxiety, because I don't know if I trust that environment enough. I don't know if they cultivate the same beliefs as what I believe in, right? But this is the thing. If you're a slave to a trade, or you're tied to a 9-to-5, and you can't have the ability to be there for your children, then you're neglecting. I think Balaj made a post the other day talking about something that had to do with parenting. Failed parenting had to do with a lack of being able to be there for your children. 100% true. But that's not our fault. That's not necessarily your fault. It's the way the society is ran. They don't want a nation full of entrepreneurs. They want a nation full of worker bees. That's what it's designed for. So that's why we have to liberate and inspire every human being that's caught in that rat race and that don't have their time is stripped. We have to say, let me help you buy back your time. And the only way you can buy back your time is through passive leveraged income. It's the only way. But how are you going to do that? You got to love on somebody. You got to hug somebody. You got to say, look, I believe in you. I trust. I want you to put our trust in the Creator. You don't have to put your trust in me, but trust God. I trust God. And when you do that, you will build the leaders in your organization. They need to love you. And you have to cultivate the belief. Because I've seen leaders 10, 15 sales away from -3 and they walked away. Why? They lost their belief. They lost their faith. They lost their appreciation. They've lost their gratitude. In Enagic, in the water, something went wrong. So for me, never. Absolutely never, because I remember where I came from. I remember where I suffered. And every day it's a reminder of where I'm going as long as I don't give up. As long as I don't quit. Never have I never thought it was possible. Never. When I came home, seriously, when I came home and my father's telling me, hey son, all you gotta do is make a friend, introduce them to me. I'm like, I have no friends. I've been gone for 10 years. And I didn't think it was possible. I didn't even think 3A, 2A was possible. But I started drinking the water. I started making friends. I started sharing it with family members, right? And before I knew it, my team started growing, hitting 6A within 10 months, 6A2 another 6 months later. Then it was -2, then -3, -4, and then my father showing me the strategy of multiple positions and maximizing comp plan and working every single angle and working it from online to offline, working together as a team, as a family. Why? Because family is what we love the most. God and family, that's it. And if you secure yourself with this opportunity and with Enagic, you'll be able to build legends and leaders in your legacy because you'll be able to help cultivate them so they can duplicate within their children. This is what it's about. This is how we make the world a better place. It starts with ourselves, then it starts with our children. One family at a time. This is the business that we're in. Nothing else matters. Materialism, like I said before, doesn't matter. This is the only thing that matters. And I'm going to tell you something. There's certain things that we can do in this world right now that will actually give us the good deeds in the afterlife. One of them is charity, giving water away. That's one. That's number one, right? Number two is raising righteous children, right? So they can actually walk in your footsteps and for generations down and walking towards getting closer and getting their relationship closer to the Creator and praying and supplicating and serving humanity. Building organizations that are uplifting humanity like Enagic, like Mr. Oshiro, he's building schools. Like leaders in the organization are building churches, they're building masjids, they're building temples. We are the superhumans of humanity. This is what you have to embrace. This is who you are. And even though you may not think it's possible, it is. Just believe. Just believe and have faith. And know that you have to be the best leader possible. You have to master this. This is actually what I did from the very, very beginning. Is I mastered. All over my whole head. I mastered this from as a 1A doing presentations and doing demos. So it's all about the education. It's all about helping people understand what they need to do to be able to launch their business very, very quickly. Success loves speed. It's about taking action and not hesitating and not waiting. You don't have tomorrow. Tomorrow is not promised to you. Yesterday is a canceled check. All you have is now. Now is all you have. So what are you going to do now, today, to take your business, to take your life to the next level? It is that power of intention within your heart, within yourself, that is going to fuel you to get to where you want to be. Plain and simple. There's no other way. So I want to let you guys know today that you never want to ever quit. You never want to have any type of negativity enter into yourself, or you never want to express any type of negativity, because let me tell you something, there's lessons sometimes in difficult situations that you need to learn. And that difficulty is going to help shape your character and shape who you are, because you are the mirror, you are the image, you are Mr. Oshiro. You are Enagic, and that's what you need to walk with today, is knowing that and embracing that. So when you meet someone, they see that light. They see that radiation that you're expressing and that you're sharing and showing. And you need to put in the work, and you need to build and move your leaders into action. My teams don't, I'm trying to tell you, when I see slow production in my organization, we're doing an event. I'm doing a call. I'm moving you to action. Seriously, that's how it's done. If you're a leader, that's your responsibility, is moving your team into action. It's about helping them have production in their life, within their business. Because a lot of times the beginners don't know what to do. You have to show them, so you have to have a regimen. You have to have a routine. You have to have goals set in place. You have to have the vision laid out from the beginning, and you have to have constant contact with them every single day. And the leaders that you see on stage that are at the top is because they're working it the way they need to work it. They're working it correctly. Every single day, they're connecting with their teams, with other people, and they're showing that it's possible. Even though I never thought it was, it's possible. I love you all. I praise you all. I thank you all. So let's all give a round of applause. Let's all stand up and show the Creator that we're thankful. Show the Creator that we're thankful for Enagic. And we're going to take our lives to the next level. Thank you very much. Let's give a bow.
This is how legends are made.
Wasn't that exciting? Are you guys taking notes? Mental notes, right? So we can all go back home and ignite our teams. The next up, coming from all over the world, because this beautiful lady is a traveler and definitely an Enagic distributor that goes around the world sharing her experience and motivating teams. Ladies and gentlemen, she has enough energy to fill up this room. Please help me welcome 684-3, Amelia Whelan.
All right, give me a moment. This is incredible. My goodness. Thank you so much, Enagic Corporate. This event is incredible. Everyone who's put this together, all of the Enagic employees, Mr. O, all of you being here. This energy is so contagious. I will never not attend an Enagic conference ever again. This is my first one. It's been so amazing to meet so many of you, new faces and new people, and I'm so inspired by everyone who's shared and people I've met in the elevator, in the bathroom. So this experience has been so just deeply rewarding for me. So thank you for all being a part of it. Ooh, that doesn't sound good when I do that. Okay. I'm always been known to do things a little differently, so I got my paper script here. All right, here's where I stand here, and I could say something along the lines of, I could have never imagined when I started my Enagic career 7 years ago that I would be up here on stage in front of all of you amazing people, being recognized for my success in this business and, my ranking in Enagic. But that isn't necessarily the truth, because the reality is I have mentally rehearsed and visualized this exact moment for the last 7 years. I'm going to be honest. And even though my daydreams of this moment and this experience felt pretty amazing, this doesn't even compare the real experience. Okay, here we go. Where are we at? Forming new habits for success in life and business with myself. All right. I began Enagic 7 years ago as a recent college dropout living in Oahu on Hawaii. Yeah, best place in the world. There's a whole story how I got started with Enagic, which involves a really beautiful Australian colonic doctor and a really awkward Tinder date, but I won't go into all the details of that today. It's probably not the most inspiring thing you'll hear. Okay, the water had coincidentally appeared in my life many times when I finally listened to the call and invested in my first calling machine with a new credit card as a young 22-year-old. At the same time that I was starting out with Enagic, I was also exploring personal development and my own spirituality a bit more. And I came across many teachers who impacted my journey in many ways. I was a passionate young yogi and just starting to explore meditation for the first time when I discovered the teachings of Abraham Hicks and Joe Dispenza. Yeah. Shout out for Abraham Hicks and Joe Dispenza. I think they deserve it more than I do. Both have played a huge role in my life and my success with Enagic, and I really just thought it would be authentic and truthful to come onto the stage today and share with you all how I was able to incorporate some of their teachings and unite them with my own technique and style on social media to be able to achieve what I've achieved in Enagic. So in my personal experience, here we go. These are kind of just lifestyle photos. I'm going to be honest, I was too stressed about the speech to focus on the presentation. In my personal experience, my success with Enagic only manifested after I understood that my beliefs and my actions had a direct impact on my life. To learn this fully, I had to teach myself to implement and form new habits that would bring me closer to the success and the freedom that I desired through this incredible company. So here's exactly what I did. Number one is I cultivated a positive and a growth-oriented mindset that would eventually become the foundation of my entire Enagic career. Number two, I began to practice feeling emotions and thinking thoughts that I imagined wildly successful distributors in this business would think and feel. Number three, I practiced feeling confident and successful on social media until it eventually became how I felt. And number four, I shared consistently and offered value online in a way that I had never seen done before in this space. So today I'd like to share a step-by-step on how exactly I rehearsed and then implemented many of these new habits into my life and onto my social media with you all. Okay, when I first began my Enagic career 7 years ago, I had very little experience in sales. And the person that I originally signed up with was part of a very small community of distributors in Hawaii. They had no platform, no funnels, no automation, no live call trainings, anything like that. Just a small Facebook group with a few young distributors and a whole lot of check flashing and Yeezys and helicopter pics. Definitely wasn't my style or my dream approach to becoming successful in this business, but I was really starting to learn to keep an open mind, and I let it feel inspiring to see these young people my age doing what made them happy while having the financial freedom and time freedom to do whatever that was for them that made them happy. So I didn't overthink it too much. No platform, no automation, not a huge support team by any means. I kind of just had this little feeling like, I have a feeling eventually I'm going to be really good at this one day. I just need to take some time to figure out how I want to achieve that success with Enagic. So I spent the next year after signing on with Enagic for the first time doing this thing where any moment of free time I had outside of my other real job, I would hang home and get in a good mood, play good music or make like a yummy drink or a smoothie and just totally vibe out and start to get on the computer and read books and podcasts and learn anything I could about network marketing, Enagic, Kangen Water, and also anything really related to manifestation and deliberate creation. I learned two very important things during this time. The first is that our thoughts and our emotions merge together to create our own electromagnetic signals or vibration. And every single one of us is an energetic being that both gives out and receives energy. More specifically, the energy that we emit vibrates on the same frequency as the energy and the information, experiences that return back to us in waves. So, like we learned in high school physics class, like always attracts like. Once I learned this, my mantra in life and in business quickly became, I focus on my goals and I align my energy with them. I focus on my goals and I align my energy with them. Secondly, I learned that in order to change my personal reality, which I so desperately wanted to change because no one likes living paycheck to paycheck and waking up at 5 a.m. to go work at a juice bar, I needed to not only, I needed to first change my personality in order for my personal reality to then change. Because all these teachings that I was listening to at the time, kept repeating to me, we don't manifest what we want, we manifest who we are. It's not mine, but thank you. So in other words, I needed to trick my mind into already believing that I was a successful 6A 2-3 and above in Enagic. I wanted to be empowered and feel confident in this space. And I knew that once I was able to, tap into these feelings, my mind would then help me on this journey. And it would cultivate thoughts and decisions, business ideas, sales strategies, etc., that a successful network marketer would think or execute. So if I was an aspiring millionaire who wanted to reach 2-3 and above in Enagic, I was going to need to start reprogramming my brain to believe that I already was 6A 2-3 in Enagic by thinking the thoughts and feeling the feelings of what I imagined many of our top distributors in this company might feel and think. Okay, sounds crazy to start acting out a life that you are not yet living, which I most certainly was not. But do you know why it's so fun and actually quite easy to do? Because our brain does not know the difference between a real external reality experience and an imaginary internal experience. Our brain can't tell the difference. So if you don't believe me, I'm going to ask you to try this exercise with me. Everyone can stay seated. You're going to close your eyes. All right, close your eyes. Try to drop into your imagination a little bit. We're going to pretend we're in our kitchen at home. I can't wait to go home. In our kitchen at home, and you're holding the juiciest, most beautiful, plump lemon you've ever held in your life. You can feel it's going to be a really good lemon. You get your sharpest knife in the kitchen and you grab the lemon. Everyone's eyes are still closed. Pretend you're cutting this lemon in half. Okay, you're going to put your hand out now and pick the lemon up off your counter. You're going to bring it up, eyes closed. Bring it up to your mouth. Open your mouth. Stick out your tongue. And then I want you to squeeze this lemon all over your tongue. How do you feel? How does your cheeks feel? Your jaw? Right? Isn't that wild? It's an imaginary experience. The lemon's not real, the juice isn't real, but our body reacts in real physical ways to this imaginary story that we've just played out in our minds. So, okay, once I knew this, that our mind was capable of tricking the body in ways tricking the body in this way, we can use this information to our advantage and be able to start to visualize and meditate on how we want to act, feel, and be in our lives and in this business. Cool. Okay, so knowing that I could trick my mind into believing imaginary experiences were real experiences, I started to practice new activities that I hoped would help create long-lasting, healthy, and successful habits for myself and for my business. So every morning when I woke up, as I first started this business for many years, I would wake up slowly in bed, and as my brain was transitioning, out of sleep into the world again, I would ask myself, what type of person do I want to be today? For example, I personally desired to be 2-3 and above in Enagic. I wanted to grow a huge organization and become wildly successful so I could do all the things I desired to do. I thought that probably someone who was in the position that I wanted to be in would start their day feeling confident, generous, and probably pretty relaxed because money was going to create opportunities and solutions in my life rather than obstacles. Then I would just take a few minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. I just lay in bed slowly, and I would try to feel the feeling of these emotions, of feeling confident, what it feels like in my body to feel generous and to feel kind. I would align to the energy of my goals, which was to be all of these things. Because we don't manifest what we want, we manifest who we are. Then I would get out of bed, and I would keep those intentions with me throughout the day, sort of like a guiding compass for my state of being and how I reacted and responded in the world to people and situations. So even if life throws you obstacles and challenges throughout the day or unexpected experiences arrive, I would always try to come back to what were my intentions for the day? How do I want to feel, act, and be? Confident, generous, kind. Even if I wasn't perfect, which I definitely was not, I would use the emotional guidance scale to help keep me on track. That's what this lovely thing is. Oh, there it is. So when I wanted to feel better, I would identify where I was on this emotional guidance scale. And then I would proactively reach for a slightly better feeling thought, which would then create a better feeling in my being. And we're all entrepreneurs. We know that business and work and life and supporting your downline can be stressful and demanding and unexpected at times. So I really came back to this again and again over the last 7 years. How can I make myself feel even 1% better? I knew that just stepping up one more scale would help create positive repercussions in my life and in my business. I also learned that abundance was not about just material wealth. And it was, once again, a vibration that can be tapped into with a certain state of mind and a relaxed nervous system. So I began to acknowledge the abundance that was already present in my life, and even start practicing gratitude for some of the experiences and the joy and the wealth that I hadn't yet experienced, hoping that by doing this, I was aligning my energy with my goals and hopefully bridging that gap between where I was in my life 7 years ago to where I wanted to be with this company. These are some of the first photos. I didn't buy a K8. I couldn't afford it at the time. Don't worry, I have like 8 now. But I went with the platinum payment plan on a credit card, and Oh my God, I've never been more proud of a product in my life as I was of my Kangen machine, let me tell you. People would come over and I'd be like, I got a Vitamix, I got a Kangen machine, I got a refrigerator, I got everything. What do you need? I was so excited to share this water with people and friends, and there was often crystals and flowers and beautiful adornments around my machine because I just had a feeling this was really going to be it for me. I grew my business with Enagic almost 100% online through organic marketing over Instagram and Facebook. Yeah. Thank you. In the early years, I shared water with anyone who asked. I lived down a long dirt road in Hawaii, and I often would walk barefoot with 2 glass-gallon jugs to neighbors down the road. I even approached a few businesses, some juice bars, and some yoga studios that I like to go to see if they'd be interested in trialing Kangen water. But eventually, I kind of just discovered that Instagram and Facebook were probably going to allow me to continue to work towards making my first sales without having to leave my house or put on pants. Yeah. So I started sharing exactly what I was just beginning to learn and do and practice almost every day on social media. In both my network marketing career, soon to be career, and in my personal development and spirituality journey. I had never seen anyone else share about Enagic or Kangen water on Instagram before, which is crazy. Because now I open my phone and I'm like, oh, this chick's crushing it. Her content's amazing. This girl's reels are so good. I got to save this. I got to do this. But at the time, I literally did not know anyone who was promoting Kangen water on Instagram or Instagram stories. And anything I did see, it never felt like it was truly transparent or genuine. I really wanted to be radically honest and share the reality of what I was experiencing, thoughts that were going through my mind at the time, insecurities, limiting beliefs that were coming up for me as a new network marketer, and even the product and how much it cost and the price. And I just really wanted to be transparent throughout the whole process because I was still convincing myself, to be honest. My intention on social media was to show people a closer look into my life as I used Enagic as a vehicle to completely transform it. The more casually I began to reference and show my Kangen machine on social media, the more interested my audience became, and the more questions and messages I started to receive online. I would often post photos of smoothies I was making with the water, or different recipes, how I was cooking with it, how I was cleaning with it. Just really whatever felt comfortable and easy for me at the time. People had a lot of questions, and I had a lot of learning to do. So I just really shared what felt like it was doable for me in the time I had throughout the day. I often showed my Instagram audience what it was truly like owning a machine in your home, because I was so proud of it, and all the different ways that I loved to use and drink and bathe in the Kangen water every single day. I posted little videos and clips of me sharing samples of water with friends and my local community, and I would just kind of try to come back and remind myself that often my daily intentions involved emotions such as feeling intelligent, confident, open-minded, and goal-oriented. So I used Instagram stories and a little bit of Facebook as a way to practice showing up as someone who embodied all of these things: confidence, goal orientation, intelligence, empowerment. And I wasn't necessarily faking anything. I was more so practicing these emotions and new personality traits regularly. Conducting my business with Enagic with integrity was a non-negotiable for me, mostly because I realized that, like I said, we're energetic beings. People can feel and read energy, and I knew that the energy of integrity and honesty was a lot more attractive and inviting to someone than manipulation or being a little shady. I knew success was going to feel so much better if I had achieved it with integrity, and I lost my place. Okay, yes, with integrity and honesty. I spoke openly about the price of the products online, and I truly just started to believe that the right people who had the right amount of money and were interested in the water and the health benefits, who resonated with my story, they would come to me, and I would just kind of attract in the perfect people at the right time. I also learned that practicing non-attachment in this business and accepting rejection felt a whole lot easier than being too hard on myself as a young network marketer and woman. And I just realized that I'd rather feel overall these good feelings in the business rather than focus on the small disturbances or maybe areas that I could have been improving in. I got on hundreds of sales calls in my first few years with Enagic. I could cringe thinking if I had to listen to a recording of one right now, it would be 2.5 to 3.5 hours, and we would probably talk about Enagic 10% of the time. No one trained me in sales. No one told me I was even ready to start doing sales calls. I just really started to believe that it was great practice for me, practicing all these new personality traits and these intentions that I had. And I truly believed that every call with someone who was potentially interested in Kangen water was an opportunity for me to ask questions and listen to people and encourage them to share their dreams and goals with me. The more phone calls I got on, believe it or not, the more sales I started to make. And the more sales that I started to make, the larger that my community began to grow. Looking back, I could change 1,000 things that I was doing to be more automated and effective and professional and organized. But I really just did my best with the knowledge I had available to me at the time, and I tried not to be too hard on myself for the learning mistakes that I was growing through at the time. Here's a fun photo. This is one of the first web classes I filmed for CEO Movement with Nate and Robin Rai from my first rental villa in Bali. I began hosting live calls with my team of distributors, and then I shared openly on these calls about what was working for me and what wasn't. Really just a lot of open discussions to support one another and kind of brainstorm new ideas. I discussed the importance of creating a consistent brand image across all social media platforms to build trust with your audience and also to build recognition as a Kangen water distributor. I was so proud to be a Kangen water distributor, and I would tell anyone that I went that I was the Kangen girl, or I'm the water girl that can hook you up. Every week, I encouraged my team on these calls to show up on social media, share genuine stories related to the products and their network marketing experience, because it's so much of both. I also really encouraged my organization to repurpose their content as much as possible on all of the platforms so that they could work smarter and not harder. And lastly, show their face, use their voice, and share their story on their social media accounts, no matter how big or small their story felt. Because I've always believed, since the beginning of this business, that the newer you are and the more recently you're just starting out, the more relatable you are to the majority of your audience. Most people have never even considered an opportunity or a career path like this ever before. So I think that's always a really helpful tip to remember. Lastly, I led by example, tried to, and embraced a growth mindset while developing a really deep sense of belief in myself and in Enagic. There's so much more I could share here, but I would need another half an hour. Eventually, I began to attract in friends and relationships within the Enagic community, and I was able to truly observe and learn what it felt like to be a leader from many of my uplines. I partnered with my sister and my brother-in-law, Shayna and Dave Samot, and we started to build our own educational platform for our community at the time of, let's see, I think 4,000 or 5,000 distributors then. Many of us were like-minded Enagic distributors, and hopefully many of them aligned with most of my teachings on success and habit formation. This is my first time ever speaking on stage in London at a CEO event. In 2018, 1 year after really committing to Enagic and my success in this business, I reached my first goal of 6A. It's very exciting. I'll never forget the moment my sister messaged me because she and her husband have always been way more tuned into the back office than I have. And she told me I hit 6A. And it was the best message to get from your sister ever. My community online and offline continued to inspire me and really holds me accountable in this business for success and achieving my goals. 4 months later, I hit 6A again, and I became 6A2. Yeah. Then 6A2-2, and eventually in October 2020, I hit 6A2-3. Yeah, thank you. I was fortunate enough to host 2 in-person retreats for my Enagic distributors in our community in both Hawaii and Indonesia. I made hundreds of lifelong friends and role models in this community. We practiced yoga, breathwork, surfing, brainstormed new ideas for health, business, and social media. And I often had retreat members leave with accountability partners because I knew if they had someone that they could continue to work with at home who was like-minded and also committed to their success and well-being, it would be extremely beneficial. Memories from these retreats are some of the most incredible memories of my life. I'd love to just share a few photos with you all. This is my family. Lacey and I snuck off one night after dinner quickly to film a new web class. Yeah. We would do yoga, breath work. Let's see, I think we only had the police called twice on us for a cult gathering. So I'd be doing yoga next to my dad in Maui, and then the event planner would come up and say, "The police are here again. Do you want to talk to them, or should I?" And I was like, "I'll come talk to them." Not everything was perfect all of the time in my Enagic career, and I can assure you that. As my audience online grew, so did a lot of speculation, judgment, and public opinions from others, many who I'd never met ever before. A year and a half ago, I woke up to an email from the Enagic compliance team that my beloved platform online was no longer compliant within their rules and the FTC's guidelines, and I was being asked to shut it down overnight. Being told, pretty much. I had invested 3 years of my life into growing this platform, and eventually I had to close it down and let go of 11 employees who had become like family to me. So network marketing definitely threw me some curveballs. But between these moments of adversity happening, I did my best to make peace with where I was at. Words of affirmation have always helped for me. I like to say things like, I embrace my life exactly as it is. I am where I am, and I'm glad I'm here. I'm doing the best that I can right now with what I've created and what I know. I'm proud of myself for the way that I'm handling these situations. I believe in me, I believe in Enagic, and I believe in the good things coming. 7 years into Enagic now, I could not be more grateful for this company valuing my worth as much as I value my own, and assisting me in the co-creation of a beautiful and prosperous life that I am able to lead. Enagic has provided me lifelong friends who have become family. It has supported me as I support others, friends, strangers, and even the 14 rescue animals I have at my house in Bali right now. If anyone's interested in adoption in Indonesia, please come talk to me after the event. We have 4 new puppies that have just been found. Enagic has truly allowed me the time and the financial freedom to enjoy my life and actually have the means to slow down and be present. And I'm going to be honest, I'm having huge imposter syndrome being up here on stage because I took a break for a few years. I decided that I had worked hard enough and it was okay to slow down and focus on other things for a while. I got married in October and, thank you. I became a stepmom to 2 amazing adult children. Yeah, I really actually started to pursue art and painting as well in the past few years, and it's incredible. The time freedom that this company has given me is a gift that I'll never take for granted. Enagic has inspired me truly to make the world a better place, one thought, one intention, and one act of deliberate creation at a time. Thank you so much to Mr. Oshiro, Enagic, the entire Hawaii office, and everyone who's ever signed up or bought a machine with anyone in my organization for changing my water and then changing my life. It's been such a joy. It's been such a joy to be here with you all and to work with you all over the last 7 years. And I pray that everyone here is able to experience the best of what this company has to offer you. Because as we've seen and learned the past few days, this company is amazing. And you all deserve nothing but the absolute best in this life. And I truly do believe that even our wildest dreams are possible when we focus on our goals and align our energy with them. Thank you so much for having me.
We're getting closer to finishing the first segment of today's event. I would like to ask, you're all here to congratulate and to be recognized, correct? The first group of recognition will be 6A, group number 1. So please start finding out what group you are. 6A2 will be group 2, and 6A2-2 would be group 3. Please be sure you locate your group number and get to the stage left once we make the announcement. But to continue this amazing day, I'm going to introduce our last speaker for today's segment. This gentleman travels all over the world. He's a family man and the leader of the Global Prosperity Movement. I can see you guys are in the house. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome newly appointed 6A2-6, Balazs Cardone.
You know that they ain't even got it like that. You gon' hype me up and make me catch a body like that. Cause I live for this, it isn't just a hobby like that. When they get my shit and play it, I ain't even gotta say it, they know.
Let's go!
They know,
Let's
they
go!
know, they know. They know, they know.
Whoa, my watch.
Yeah.
What's up?
They know, yeah. That the real is on the rise. Them other guys, I even get
How you doing, Enagic family? How you doing, GPM? Wow.
It's incredible being here. I'm so honored and grateful for this opportunity to close the event at the 49th Global Convention here in Las Vegas. Let's give it up for all of our speakers. They've done an incredible job here. So I want to ask you a question before I share my story. And I want you to write this down, the answer in your notebook. What is the price you are willing to pay to live the dream life that you say you want? I believe it all starts there. We have to pay the price up front in full to ever be on the stage, to ever make the big impact, to ever be traveling and spending quality time with our families. We have to pay that price up front. And for those of you that are brand new here and it's your first event, this is your opportunity. This is your time to claim it. And when you leave here, it's the beginning for you. It's day one. And so I think that's really, really cool that you have the power and capability to do that. A little bit about me. My name is Balaj de Ricardos. I'm a family man. I'm a happily married man to my beautiful wife, Margaret, my baby girl, Valentina. Hi, baby. How's it going? My amazing mother, Jujana, who actually is the reason why I am here today. My story begins a long time ago. My family immigrated from Hungary when I was 5.5 years old to Canada with 2 suitcases, couldn't speak English, and we had no money. And when we arrived from a communist country to Canada, we thought we had made it, right? Land of the free, land of opportunity. The Canadian dream, very similar to the American dream. And very quickly we found out that even though we had credit and we were able to get a car and a mortgage and all these appliances where you pay like 2 years after you get it in your house, right? It seems cool, but the pressure and the stress of those finances quickly caught up with my parents. They were super hardworking. I didn't get to see them much when I was little, but they did their best, and I'm forever grateful. My mom and dad are the best. My dad's in heaven. I love you, Dad. And as time went on, eventually the pressure of stress, lack of quality time in their marriage, it broke them apart, and my parents got divorced at the age of 11. While this was happening, I suffered from really severe gastrointestinal health problems where when I would eat food, pretty much anything, I would have bloating, pain, discomfort. I was always in pain. That was the normal, regular feeling that I had. This went on for over a decade, and after my dad suddenly passed away in 2007, my life went straight downhill. I got depressed, I was smoking dope, I was sleeping in, I had no direction, had no purpose. Every single day I was like, why am I even here? I truly didn't want to live. I thought my life was happening to me. Everything was going wrong. I wasn't looking forward to anything. Then my mom was searching for an answer to my health problems. And long story short, for about 10 years, we were going to doctors to see what was wrong. Can I get some water, please? I forgot to bring my bottle. Somebody. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you, man. Kind man. Whoa. Oh, you got a cool bottle. Has like 2 lids in it. Anyway, so after struggling with all of that for a while, I got my gallbladder removed, and they said everything would be better if I got my gallbladder removed. So I got my gallbladder removed. All my symptoms came back 6 months later. My mom was like, this is unacceptable. We have to find a different way to figure out what was wrong with my son. She started doing research, reading all these books on health and nutrition, different things. And all of a sudden, this big concept was presented around water. It was very strange. For 10 years, the doctors never once said anything about water to my family or me. How come? So my mom's reading these books, and it's like water, not all water is created equal. Some of the books that you're all familiar with that we have inside Enagic as tools, my mom found those books before Enagic, and they were talking about the water. So then she discovers the concept around ionized water, does a Google search right? We all know what happens when we Google stuff, our prospects Google stuff, right? There's a lot of bad things that you find, negative things, calling Enagic a scam, and a lot of things that are not true. That's what my mom found. Can you believe that? The first website she found was another competitor bashing Enagic, and she's reading the site, and at the bottom of the site, they're trying to sell their inferior product for like less money. And I'm forever grateful that my mom actually was able to identify that this was not true. Because had that not happened, like some of our prospects and our leads believe those things, they're not in this room, the water hasn't changed their life, they don't have this incredible company, this incredible opportunity, and it never went to the next step. My mom saw right through the bullshit. I don't know if I can swear, I don't know. I swear a lot, but it's because I'm passionate. Anyway, so that's how it all began in 2008, 8 months after my dad had died. This was the only thing that came into my life that was started to be positive. My mom told me to drink the water. I was skeptical. At this point, I had given up hope around ever fixing my stomach problems. I was like, whatever, this is just my life. Could be worse. I was trying to be grateful. And she's like, drink the water. I feel like this is what we've been searching for over a decade. Drink the water, drink the water. I'm like, all I knew at first is it tasted better and different. I didn't understand the science. I didn't understand what was good about it. But I tasted it. My first thought was, this is how water is supposed to taste. What have I been drinking my whole life? So that was the first thought I had. But I was still skeptical, right? Big round of applause. Tastes amazing, right? 2 weeks later, she asked me, how are you doing? How are you feeling? And without thinking about it, I replied, good. And I haven't said anything positive in so long that I just don't talk like that. I said, good. And in that moment, I was like, wait a second. I'm not in pain. What happened? So anyway, have been drinking the water a couple of weeks. Not a health claim. This is my story. And a month after that, I went on a weekend getaway. And who packs water with them when they travel, right? Well, you guys do. You guys do and I do. But not when you first get the water, because you're like, whatever, it's cool water. I'll leave it at home. It's kind of a pain in the butt to like take the machine, right? You're like, it's fine. But how many of you guys have had an experience the first time after drinking the water where you went without it and you really, really regretted it, right? That happened to me. So within a couple of days, all my symptoms came back in pain, bloating, discomfort. My body basically started to shut down because I didn't have the water. And I was like, wait a second, I think we found something really cool. So that happened a couple of times. Then eventually, my mom started to share the water. That's how we were taught back in 2008. Share the water, do the demo, et cetera, et cetera. But she was working 3 jobs, 7 days a week. So could she share the water? She didn't have time. Guess who had time? Me being a bum at home, depressed, feeling sorry for myself, sleeping on the couch, watching TV all day, be in a really dark place, still grieving the death of my father, but the water started to shift me internally. It started to shift how I felt about myself. And some of the speakers that were here in the last couple of days touched on the importance of water and how you speak to yourself. It changes the molecules. That was happening to me before I even knew it was happening. Next thing you know, my mom starts sending people to our house, and it's like, you're going to be the one who fills up the water jugs for them. And I didn't want to do that, trust me. I was in a dark place. So now I realize people are coming with these massive jugs, those huge ones that you have at the water coolers in the office, right? Those really, really big ones. And I'm like, it's going to take like 20 minutes to fill up. What am I going to talk to these people who I don't want to talk to for 20 minutes? So now I'm really annoyed. And my mom's like just sending everybody. So it's all day, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. I'm like, Mom, come on. So here's what happened that changed everything. I'm trying to think of a question I can ask these people so I don't have to talk to them and they can talk to me. I'm like, that was my strategy. So I asked them, I said, hey, are you dealing with any health issues? I didn't even know who these people were. And they're like, oh yeah, let me tell you. All of a sudden, everything under the sun, this, that, back, this, whatever, skin problems, can't go to the toilet. And I'm like, whoa, dude, this is too much info, right? But they're getting the water. A couple of days, they come back for a refill. And within a couple weeks, anywhere from 2 to 6 weeks, most people started telling me these miraculous testimonials. I couldn't believe it. I thought I was special. I thought I was lucky. I thought it was just my stomach that was better. I'm like, wait a second, maybe this water can help everyone else. And that's how my journey began. Now, as many of you probably have thought at some point, you have eyes of grandeur, right? Oh man, I can sell these machines to everybody. I could go up here on stage. I could be a Dash 5. I could do all this stuff. That was my thoughts too. But I didn't have the business mindset. I just wanted to help people with the water at first. So we started sharing the water. These transformations start happening. And next thing you know, people ask us, are we the only ones with the water machine? So we didn't know how to do the business. We didn't even know about the business. So we sent everybody back to the person we found on Google. He's confused. He calls us, and he's like, hey, you should come over and see the compensation plan. I'm like, all right. So we go over there, and I see the comp plan for the first time. How many of you guys remember the first time you saw the comp plan, right? It's pretty intense. You're asking all the questions. You're like, so wait, do I got to sell 100 machines a month to hit 6A? No, one time. What? I get all that for one sale? Yeah. What? My mom makes $3,000 a month. She works 7 days a week. 3 jobs. Doesn't even make that much in a couple sales. It just kind of blew everyone's mind, right? So that was when I first knew that we had discovered something really unique, really special. And I started telling all my friends. They were all young. I was 22 years old when my mom found the water. All my friends were around the same age. They're all in either school, going to college or university, or they're up in the trades and the oil rigs, those kinds of things. Everyone made fun of me. I heard every single negative possible thing that you could think of. And I got discouraged. I was like, man, I know it changed my life, but I don't have the skills. I don't have the tools. I didn't have any training. I didn't have any sales experience. I didn't have any marketing background. I was just a kid who had a messed up stomach, and now it wasn't messed up anymore. And I wanted to share it, and it didn't work. So guess how long it took me to hit 2A? 5 years. How many of you think you can get to 2A quicker than 5 years? Put your hand up. There you go, you're ahead of me. So during that 5 years, I had given up hope. I still believed in the water. Every once in a while, I had a little bit of courage. When someone made a stupid comment about bottled water, I was like, the water, ah, right? And they're like, whoa. And I'm like, I still suck. For another few months. And then some other thing happened. I'm like, you gotta drink the water. And they're like, nah, man, you're crazy. And then something really cool happened, blessing in disguise. My mom and I weren't really getting along. I was living at home, like I said. I was being a bum. I wasn't contributing. I wasn't cleaning up after myself. I wasn't paying rent. I was just being a punk-ass teenager who happened to be like 23 years old. Late bloomer over here. And I was like, I gotta move out. I gotta just get my life together. I can't stay under this environment where I have a parent. I gotta like become an adult. And my dad wasn't around to like help me become a man. So I felt pretty lost. So I moved out, and I had $600 to my name. The roommate that I had found was an acquaintance. He's like, first month rent, $600. I said, all right, here's all my money I got. Now I had nothing left, and I didn't have a job. So I tried to get a job, but the only problem was I got fired from 12 jobs my whole life. I kept getting fired from every job I had, and my self-confidence was shot because I thought, like, I can't get a job. And the problem was that I just don't like being told what to do. That's why I kept getting fired. They're like, do this. I'm like, yeah, screw you. They're like, you're fired. I'm like, ah. So I was a bad employee. Did not listen at all. Anyways, I did door-to-door sales. It's the only place that would fire me, and that's where I learned my fundamental skills that have helped me a lot. I knocked doors, rain or shine. I got rejected every single day, over 100 times. Doors slammed in my face. Dogs chased after me. It was rough, and I learned so much fundamental things. I'm going to share a couple of those with you right now. The first major thing that I learned is that there's no such thing as rejection, only feedback. Changed my life. Every time someone didn't buy from me, I would just ask them, why didn't you buy from me? They tell me, oh, I don't like your offer. I don't like the deal. It's not good enough. You're not helping me enough. It's too expensive. Whatever they said, I go, thank you so much. Wrote it down. Have a nice day. And then I went and studied. Okay, that's what they said. How do I get better for tomorrow? I'd go back. Rejection, rejection, rejection. Can I get some feedback? I'm really trying to do a great job here. Even if you don't buy, maybe your neighbor will. Can you help me? And I just started asking for feedback. Started changing my life. The next thing that really changed my life was the power of taking everything step by step. A lot of the times I get questions when I'm at these events. People come up to me and they're like a 1A or a 2A. They're asking me questions like, how do I get to 6A2-3? I'm like, listen, I understand you're excited, but you need to take the first next step. What gets you from 1A to 2A? You don't gotta be thinking about 2-3. That comes later, step by step by step. So in door to door, I kept asking my manager, how do I close the sale? He's like, are you even getting past your introduction? I'm like, no. He's like, well, get good at the intro. I got really good at the intro. Then I was able to step in the house. Then I got so confident that I had this trick that I used to do to see if I would get the sale, where if they had a fruit bowl on their kitchen table, I'd be sitting there. I just randomly reach over, grab an apple, and take a bite. And I wouldn't ask for if I could have an apple. And if they didn't say anything, I knew I was going to get the sale. It was really fun. And then after that, I got more confidence, and a big reason why I couldn't get any sales was because it was always dinner time. I worked in the evenings. So then I would say to them, what are we having for dinner tonight? And they're like, barbecue? I'm like, man, I love barbecue. Would you like to join us? Yeah, you guys eat, and I'll give you a deal. And so this is how it developed. And for 5 years, I did this. And I made some good income, but I never had freedom. And once I had a bunch of money in the bank, I remember asking my boss for some time off so I could take my wife on a holiday. I wanted to travel. I had the money to do so. And my boss laughed in my face and said, what does this look like, Christmas holidays? And it was like September. And I felt so gross that I literally felt like he owned me. And that was my line in the sand moment. I'm like, I gotta find a way out. So funny story, every morning before I went to my job, turn on my Kangen water machine. Kangen water 9.5. Drinking the water, daydreaming. If only there was a business. For like a really long time this was going on, right? And then one day I'm like, look at the machine, look at the water, shake my head. I'm like, it's right there, man. I've had it for 5 years, but I gave up on myself. And you know why I gave up on myself? Because I didn't feel I was worthy. Who am I, the son of immigrant parents who grew up with a lot of challenges around money, divorced parents, lost my father to cancer at 21. I cut off the tip of my finger in a sawmill accident, which I don't even have time to get into today. My life was really, 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 really challenging until 25. My self-worth was in the ground. Balaj, who am I to sell a $5,000 water machine? That was 5,000 times higher than my net worth. Anybody feel like this in the audience? Does anybody have issues with feeling worthy of achieving massive success in this company? Deep down. You're here, rah, rah, woo, woo, we can do it. You go home, you're just like me, right? I don't think I can do this. So anyway, after I developed the skills in door to door, I'm like, I feel like I am worthy. Why can't I? There are people out there winning. There are people out there succeeding. I just got to learn what they're doing. I got to shift my mindset around. So I started on this path. It took me 8 months of part-time efforts while I still had my door-to-door job, where I talked to my wife. She was my girlfriend back then. And I said, baby, listen, I have to make this business number one. I have to be absolutely all in and obsessed day and night. It's going to feel at times like you aren't number one, that I don't love you as much as you think I should. It's going to feel uncomfortable, but I'm doing this for us. And it's a temporary season. I promise it's not forever. How many of you right now need to have these conversations with your spouse, your children, your family, so everybody's in on it together? Put your hands up. Most of you expect blind support when they don't really know your dream yet. You haven't expressed it yet. And you know, the sacrifices that we made between my wife and I were really, really difficult. I said no to so many things. I didn't attend family events. When I was at dinner, one of my fondest memories of what I call the come up story is when we're having steak dinner, beautiful date night. I'm looking my beautiful wife in the eyes. It's a special moment. My filet mignon comes out, perfectly cooked. My phone rings, ring, ring, ring. I look down at someone on my team who needs help. Close a 3-way call. Baby, I got to take this call. She's like, all right, I know. It's all good. Go outside. I'm pacing in front of the restaurant. Close the trifecta. By the way, I created a trifecta. You guys like that? Yeah. Another story for another time. So I'm closing these deals. And one day, I get to this point in my business where I got a lot of confidence. And I started telling my team, listen, you have somebody who's interested, I'll do the call. I knew every single sale in my downline organization until I hit 6A2. I closed every single sale, one way or another, for my team. I remember getting my first check, and I couldn't recognize the name at the bottom of the check, and I got mad. How dare somebody close a sale without my help? I remember my mentor at the time telling me, he's like, dude, that's kind of the point. You want to get the business to the point where checks are coming in and you don't know where they're coming from. I was like, really? Okay. This is uncomfortable. And then it started happening more and more and more. Then what happened, the shift to online. Oh, I know my time is up, and I'm going to wrap this up here in a minute. You guys enjoying my story, by the way? Okay. So I started getting hit with ads on social media for all kinds of things. eBooks, courses, everything. And I started clicking on everything. I'm like, that's cool. I'm like, how do they know I like that? Completely clueless. And as I'm going through these funnels for other people, I start thinking to myself, wait a second, why can't we do a magic like this? I just have no frickin' clue how. So I'm opting into every funnel. I'm buying every course for $29, $197, $297, $997. I'm not going through any of it. I'm just trying to see their process. Like, what happens when I pay? What happens next? If I put my credit card in, what do I get an email? All this kind of stuff. And then I remember this picture popped up that said laptop lifestyle. And it was a picture of a laptop on a table with one of those fruity drinks with the umbrella, like a pina colada or something, and a palm tree and beautiful beach. And I look at it, and something in me was like, that's what I want. But I want to do it with a magic. I just don't know how. I remember talking to my wife. She was in the kitchen cooking dinner. I walk in, and I'm like, hey, baby, we're going to have the laptop lifestyle. And she looks at me, and she's like, all right, cool, honey. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, me neither, but I'm going to figure it out. So now I have this thought that I can't get out of my head. And every day I'm doing it manually. I'm doing demos. I'm doing 3-way calls. I'm driving around town. I'm getting more and more frustrated. I'm getting frustrated because I know there's a better way. I just don't know how to do it. So instead of me trying to learn it, I set an intention. And I thought about that intention every single day, basically all day long. And the intention was, how can I attract the right individuals into my business that are brilliant and genius at the skill set I don't have? And I can provide my value as a leader. I can provide my passion for Enagic. I will do whatever I can in my power to support them, but they got to bring that to the table. And then, as fate has it, I hit 6A. And I met a gentleman by Cameron George. I think he might be in the room. If you are, brother, I love you. I can't see you. And we built a friendship for 2 years, establishing our relationship, him knowing I was a good, solid guy. And after I hit 6A, I remember having this moment where I always felt like I had a lot of urgency when I was dealing with the prospect, like, you got to buy this now, man. Here's the paperwork. I was always in a rush because that came from the door-to-door background that I had. If I didn't get the sale in 20 minutes, I would never get the sale. You know, people say, I'll call you tomorrow. They never call you tomorrow in door-to-door. So I had this different kind of energy. And I hit 6A, and I remember thinking to myself, why am I in such a hurry? By the way, all you other speakers that didn't have that going on, that's distracting. I'm gonna wrap this up, I promise. I told everybody, I'm like, the thing I'm nervous about is only having 30 minutes. So anyway, what I was trying to say was, where was I? Why am I in such a hurry, right? And in that moment, I felt this shift in my soul, in my being, that I was gonna be with Enagic for life. Round of applause. I was like, why would I leave? Why would I stop? Why would I ever change when this company is so incredible? Mr. Oshiro, Mrs. Oshiro, what they created, the products, the compensation plan, the legacy income, the career path of where you can take your business, the impact you can make in other people's lives. I knew in my heart this was my calling. From my story to how the water changed my stomach and my health, how it impacted my family, to then helping me transition out of a very time-consuming door-to-door straight commission career into this. Then I freed my wife. I retired my wife after 1 year in Enagic. Then I retired my mom right after that. Then I started helping other people quit their jobs, and it was beautiful. Then I started going online, and everything started to change because we were able to impact people all over the world. And now, today, we have over 100 countries in my organization. We have 50 people higher than Dash 3 in my business. And it's been absolutely the funnest, most enjoyable, crazy roller coaster journey of the last 10 years. And I want to leave you with this final thought. We're about to approach 50 years with Enagic next year. And right now, a lot of you see these people on stage and it feels very out of reach. How am I ever going to get to those ranks? We talked about the worthiness thing, but there's levels to that. When I started this business after 5 years of a break, 10 years ago, I was a 4A. I went to my very first event, like so many of you in this room. Romy, Cynthia, Eli, they were all Dash 4s at that time. And thank you guys so much for being the OGs. Forever grateful to everything you contributed. I remember when I started, Romy had this PowerPoint that had pictures of buttholes, and that was his presentation. Colonoscopy, I just have that joke because everybody laughs when I used to do the demo. So it was like, your butthole picture now, you drink the water, your clean butthole picture. I know, it wasn't very fancy or high tech. So OGs did whatever it took, right? But I caught up. I'm a Dash 6 today, 10 years later, and you can do the same thing. So here's what I want you guys to do right now. I want you to commit to your goals for the 50th anniversary of Global Convention. And I want you to do it like this right now on your paper. I am so happy and grateful that I am. And fill in the blank. If you're under 6A, put 6A. If you're 6A, at least 6A2. If you're 6A2, at least Dash 2. Because the next 5 years, the next 10 years, the next 25 years of this company, all of you are the people that are going to be Dash 3 and above that takes this company to the momentum it deserves. We are going to be doing 50,000 units a month, 100,000 units a month eventually. How many of them are going to come from your organization? How many? I believe in you guys so much. I'm a classic representation of the underdog story. I've been counted out my whole life. I've always gone against the odds. It's always been a difficult journey. I've always done my very best to be the best leader I could be and always improve. And you can do the same thing. So all the speakers here have the same message. We're all the same. How many of you need to make this business work? How many of you, this is your only shot to change classes, to go to the upper class, to live free, to make an impact? So make it count. In Mr. Oshiro's honor, I'm so grateful to be closing this event. I can't wait to see so many of my team and so many of you crossing the stage today and celebrate you. Thank you so much for having me.
You know that they ain't even got it like that. You gon' hype me up and make me catch a body like that. Cause I live for this, it isn't just a hobby like that. When they get my shit and play it, I ain't even gotta say it, they know.
Thank you.
They know,
Thank
they
you.
know, they know. They know, they know, they know.
Was that amazing or what? Give it up one more time for Balazs. Now, as we get ready for today's event, the recognition of our 6A, 6A2, and Dash 2. Group 1 will come up to the stage, be ready to take pictures and make some noise for everyone. Before we do that, we have, who wants a t-shirt? Show your best moves and give it up for Jonah, everyone.
Y'all ready for this? So get ready for this. Y'all ready for this?
T-shirts, I promise, but you have to be here early till we can start our sessions. Everyone who has been getting here has been getting one, so please make sure you get here on time. Now, we are going to start recognizing those of you who ran in recently as a 6A. Everyone, please give a huge round of applause to our 6A Achievers!
Just rising up.
That's right.
As a shadow crosses mine.
Congratulations.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, without 6 A's, we wouldn't be here, and without 1 A's, we wouldn't be here. However, please help me welcome our next group for the 6A2 Achiever.
Get ready. Here they are. Get those hands up. Let's go.
One day when the light is glowing, I'll be in my castle golden. But until
Congratulations!
the gates are open, I just wanna feel this moment.
That's right.
I just wanna feel this moment. I just wanna feel this moment.
Let's go.
Miss Worldwide.
Thank you guys. Show them some love.
Oye, mamita, dale, que la cosa está rica.
Reporting live from the tallest building in Tokyo. Long way from them hallways.
That's right.
Filled with O's and oh yeas. They counting always. Real fat all day. Now, baby, we can parlay. Oh,
That's
baby,
right.
we can
Party.
parlay. She read books, especially about red rooms and tie-ups. I got her hooked. Cause she see me in a suit with the red tie tied up. Hey, Tangris, nice to meet you. But time is money. Only difference is I own it. Now let's stop time and enjoy this moment.
I feel the love out there. Let's go.
Please welcome our 6A2-2 Achiever.
Don't you worry, child. She has got a plan for you. Don't you worry now. Yeah.
That's right. do you think, guys? Well-deserved congrats.
I feel so close to you right now, it's a force field. I wear my heart up on my sleeve like a big deal. Your love pours down on me, surround me like a waterfall. And there's no stopping us right now.
That's right, no stopping us.
So close to you right now.
Let's go, let's go. Congratulations, make some noise, everyone.
That's right. Now, I feel so close to you.
It's only up.
Stopping us right now. And there's no stopping us right
wow.
now.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen, give it up one more time for our 6A, 6A2, and Dash 2 achievers. This concludes our first event for the day. We have lunch being served for you outside of the foyer. There's a limit of 1 per person. Please enjoy, and please be sure to be back on time for our second session. Thank you, everyone.